throughout Australia. Welcome to Metricon Stadium for 3AW's coverage of this round 2 clash between the Gold Coast Suns and Melbourne. Bringing you tonight's action. In special comments, the 1985 Brownlow medalist Brad Hardy. And in commentary, it's a very good Saturday night took Shane McInnes alongside David Schwartz.
Craig, a very good evening to you. Welcome, folks, to Metricon Stadium on the Gold Coast as 3AW's Round 2 coverage continues tonight. The Suns hosting Melbourne, both sides coming off wins in Round 1. And for the Gold Coast, what better opportunity to prove their credentials in 2022 than just maybe with a win over the reigning Premier. One other game being played tonight, that between Port Adelaide and Hawthorn. We'll bring you score updates on that match, that game already underway. Dylan Moore getting the Hawks on the board early, 1 straight 6 with the power yet to score. And if you're catching up on your results from so far today, Collingwood by 42 over the Crows at the MCG, and as you just heard on 3AW Footy, Brisbane defeating Essendon by 22 points. Well, as the Demons come out onto Metricon Stadium, what better opportunity than to introduce my co-caller for this evening, none other than the Melbourne superstar himself, David Schwartz. Welcome to you, Ox.
Hello, Shane. Hello, listeners. Great to be here. Metricon Stadium, surface in really good condition, but I'll say a big but, because from Brisbane, we have a big rain band coming down, and from Lismore, we have got a big rain band coming up. So if they collide, this second half in particular could be a wet and soggy one. But the sides, they look good. They seem pretty comfortable with their ladder positions, 7th being the Gold Coast and 5th being the Demons. And this is going to be one hell of an affair.
Well, I'm looking forward to you breaking it down in just a moment. The ground conditions, all with thanks to the Watchdog app. Download the Watchdog app to see vision of every Victorian Greyhound race live and free. Currently sitting on 24 degrees at Metricon Stadium, but as the Ox said, it could get pretty wet given it's already pretty dewy underfoot. Our expert commentator tonight, well, he's got to start 3 hours earlier than he usually does on a Saturday evening, but he's been kind enough to come in early, and it's great to be alongside the 1985 Brownlow medalist, Brad Hardy. Welcome to you, Bradley.
Hello, Shano. Hello, Ox. Great to be with you.
Hello,
listeners. Great to be... well, I love this. Don't worry about this ground, Shane. This is the best surface in the competition, bar none. I assure you that. Always has been and always will be. It's a perfect drainage ground, so I'm not worried about the rain as such. It'll drift away, but it's whether how slippery that ball becomes, my friend.
I mentioned you the 1985 Brownlow medalist, but of course a couple of years up on the Gold Coast playing at magnificent Carrara. It wasn't quite the modern stadium then that it is today, Brad, but still a beautiful facility.
What's wrong with portable change rooms and makeshift stands? Shane, we had lights, we had footy ground. We were
I nearly missed a game. Playing out of Carrara, because they had the windows with the wire, with the bars on them.
Yeah.
And I kicked the footy, glass came down, I was in socks, glass on the floor, didn't realise, stood on the glass, had to have 4 stitches put on the foot 3 hours before I was playing.
Yeah.
So the facilities weren't great, but they're wonderful now, and the Gold Coast are reaping the rewards of all the hard work you did, Brad.
I know.
Some 30 years ago.
Thanks, Ox. That's a good on you. I really appreciate that. No, it's a great stadium now. It's a great stadium, and I'm hoping that the Suns, I do believe they'll be dangerous there all year, playing at home. Look, it might not be the case tonight. Melbourne are in pretty good shape coming into this game, already coming off a win against the Bulldogs last week. We thought that the Gold Coast should and did beat West Coast over there and undermanned and completely decimated West Coast in the end. So, but it's great. I'm looking forward to the couple of the encounters, Witts versus Gawn. Gawn arguably the best ruckman in the game. Well, Witts has been out for 12 months. He came back and he was in pretty good nick.
Very good last week.
Really good. So he's been a I'm sorry to see Rankin not playing.
It's a big out for the Gold Coast Suns, especially
just
given
that X factor up forward.
Yeah, his performance last week, Brad. What was it? 4 goals, 1, I think it was. And I mean, the fact that there's no Ben King there this season, that is a massive omission when you're taking on the reigning premiers.
Petrarca, superstar. Oliver, good last week, not great.
Yep.
But, and of course, Viney working really, really hard. Had a great pre-season, Hawks, as you've often told me. So, from that point of view, but you've got Touk Miller, you've got Noel Anderson, you've got these sort of boys. Rao looks like he's back in some sort of form. He had a couple of years in the wilderness with injuries.
Yep.
So, from that point of view, I expect that both teams will get plenty of the footy. It's who's more proficient up front.
Yeah, I think they'll be competitive. I believe Melbourne's depth will be too good.
Yeah.
And their body's probably just a year or two in front of where the Gold Coast Suns are. With an experienced side and a confident side like Melbourne, if they get on top, they could really put the boot into the Gold Coast Suns. I hope that doesn't happen. I hope they're competitive, but I've got a feeling that Melbourne might be just able to really make a big statement early on in the season.
I agree with you. And look, the good thing I'm thinking of, Vox, is that at least the Gold Coast Suns look like they're starting to take shape. Now, we all think there's a little bit of a bloke called Alistair Clarkson lingering around, but these boys want to stay on the coast, and I'll tell you why. King's signed. Take it to the bank. Rankin and Lukostis will sign soon.
Yep. Rao's committed.
They're all purchasing properties on the Gold Coast, Shane. That's where they want to live. That's what you need. You need to get the glue, a half a dozen to 9 players that are going to be there for an extended period of time to see if you can get things going. And it's good to see that they're starting to get those ducks in a row.
All right, so just watching the players do their warm-up, having their set shots. It is Dewey. You can see they're already sweating up pretty badly, but expecting that. Stephen King, the ruck and mid coach there for the Gold Coast Suns. So it'll be interesting to see what Petrarca does. If he goes head-to-head with Rao, or he decides to really play a lockdown role.
I want to just talk about the coach for a moment. Stuart Dew was on AFL 360 earlier in the week. Of course, there is a lot of talk about the shadow of Alistair Clarkson looming large over Stuart Dew and potentially going into the senior coach role next season. Here's what he had to say on AFL 360 during the week.
Well, I guess the players are my feedback and the footy club. And like you said, Rowley made those comments. We've got Tuke Miller, Jared Wicks, Sam Collins, who are all competitors and want to win finals and have a crack at a premiership, that have signed their career over with me as their coach. And
so that's Stuart Dew talking earlier in the week, Brad. I mean, he feels that he still has ownership of this team. The problem, as I see it for Stuart Dew, is as soon as a couple of losses come for the Gold Coast Suns, the pressure is really going to start mounting.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's a given. I mean, it's a win-loss business. That simple as that. And more so for some coaches than others. But, Damien Harvick didn't have a great year last year, but he got 3 in the bank. So it's not even a question. You know what I mean? And I'm saying there should be. But with someone like, Dewey, he's got to really be careful, because Gold Coast historically start all right.
Yep.
Get halfway through the season and the thing
and then it gets hard.
Tumbling down.
Yeah, it gets really hard.
So you can't be. They've got to be. If they're in a position to contend, he's got to see it through.
The thing that Stuart Dew spoke about, the players being, the feedback and the barometer. At any one time on a list, there's 42 players. 10 will love the coach, 20 won't give a stuff about the coach, and 10 will hate the coach.
Yeah.
And that's the fact of life, because 10 aren't getting a game, 20 are kind of in between and don't really care, and the other 10, there is golden children that actually are going to do the job for him. So I would be careful using just the players as a barometer, because you need to. If you want to stay as a coach, you need to keep the board. They're very, very important, and the win column is pretty important.
Well, if you
also
listen to the chatter behind the scenes, there's more issues at play than that.
Of course there is.
There's the chairman. There's a lot of things at play. That
Tony Cochrane is not an easy person to work for,
no.
And he commands a lot, and he's a bit erratic, and he says some things that cause some friction amongst all groups, so it can be an issue.
Well, again, Tony Cochrane has come out and backed Stuart Dew unequivocally.
He's safe then.
I know, but he's saying all the right things. The problem is, and I guess what I'm getting to, is that the last time these two sides played, Melbourne won by 98 points. The Gold Coast Suns, even if it is round 2, if they are to be beaten by 98 points, forget about last week. That indicator, Brad, of whether or not Stuart Dew can remain there beyond the end of this year is going to go all the way in favour of, he'll be lucky to get there to Dew.
This is a very good football side, Melbourne. And yes, I do think they'll win. 98
points to the good of the Gold Coast?
No, not tonight. Not tonight. What I think will be happening tonight is that there'll be a little bit of room for the Gold Coast Suns. It's only human nature. When you are better than the opposition, sometimes you tend to underestimate them. And the Gold Coast Suns at home will do a formidable job tonight. They probably won't win, I don't think, but they'll certainly take it up to Melbourne points in the game.
Shane, you're wearing yellow and red. Is that some sort of sign that you are tipping the Gold Coast in what could be one of the great upsets?
I've tipped Melbourne, but I'm buoyant about what the Gold Coast Suns can bring. So I'm going to say that tonight the margin will be under 3 to 4 goals.
Okay.
I think if it's under 3 to 4 goals, that is a tremendous effort for the Gold Coast Suns.
What are you saying, Brad? What's your margin?
I'm a little bit more comfortable than that. I think that somewhere north of 5 goals. I think that the Melbourne Demons just too classy. Langdon rolling up and down the ground. The forward line looks really potent for me. I just not sure exactly where Gold Coast get a lot of their goals from.
71 points for me.
71.
71 points.
On your KB.
Yep, 71. And only because there is a fair bit of a talent gap between these two sides.
But it's
Mate, you just saw
you
the
mentioned
radar.
the rain, exactly.
Yeah. You know what, Brad? And you know this better than anyone. Good players play better in the wet.
Skilled players do. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think Melbourne have more skilled players than that of Gold Coast Suns.
That's a fair thing.
And even before the rain arrives, given the humidity up in southeast Queensland, it's already going to be quite dewy underfoot, as we saw
Max has won the toss as well. Things are going the Demons' way straight from the beginning, Shane.
Last Saturday night in the match between Brisbane and Port Adelaide. As David Ox said, as he was talking over the top of me, Max Gawn has won the toss. The Demons are going to kick to the left of our broadcast position in the opening term. They'll be attacking the main scoreboard end.
When we used to win the toss for the Brisbane Bears here, we used to do a lap of victory.
How many games did you win as a Brisbane Bears player?
Quite a few. Didn't win a wooden spoon until year 4.
Is that right?
Yeah, people knock us, but we're all right, the dirty
Who
dozen.
was winning the spoons back then? It would have been Melbourne, wouldn't it?
Yeah, probably.
Early 80s?
Probably. They were an ordinary side back then.
So
I think we beat them.
all just about ready. 3AW Saturday night football, all with thanks to Macca's. Got to be said, it's a pretty poor crowd for the Suns' opening home game of the 2022 season. But again, Brad, it's not just about the coaching situation. Competitive performances, wins, that's what breeds fans. That's what breeds membership.
Well, that's what you've got to condition the mind, and you've got to condition the body. And part of that mindset is that you just got to try and keep winning. And the Gold Coast Suns have got one in the barrel at the moment, and they'll be looking to try and improve on that. So let's see how they go.
Suns coming off the back of a win in round one for the first time since 2018. Tonight they take on the reigning premiers, who of course last week defeated the Dogs to the tune of 26 points. Warm, humid night on the Gold Coast. 3AW Saturday night footy. It's all with thanks to Macca's, and umpire Craig Fleer gets us underway, and Jared Witts with the first palm down of the night, and no surprise, Christian Petrarca with the first clearance as he sends it inside forward 50. Brandon Ellis was taken without it, no free kick, and now the Gold Coast Suns defensively through Atkins, gets a little handball off, Lemons, and now Took Miller kicks it out toward the broadcast wing. Nick Holman looking for an option further afield. Clean early from the Suns. Ben Ainsworth with a couple of goals last week against the Eagles. Now sends it inside forward 50 to the pocket over the back. Casbolt, he'll need to get a few tonight if the Suns are to be any chance. It spills down to Tom McDonald. He gets a clearing kick up towards centre wing. It's going to bounce, tumble and go out of bounds. And we'll see a boundary throw in right below the 3AW commentary box on this broadcast or western wing of Metricon Stadium.
And McDonald, who went down back last week, has started there once again in this opening quarter for the Demons. Max Gawn up against Witts on centre wing. Max just pushes Witts out of the way, but Rao was good, gave it to Miller, and they're away here to Holman. Good work there by Petrarca, 2 big tackles. Got the handball away to Miller again, slippery footy. Max picks it up. It's cut off though, and they're away again, the Gold Coast Suns. Holman to Miller, he's 60 from home, drives it inside 50, up towards Charles. Good work there by Tomlinson. It could be a 50. No, the umpire said that's okay. And Adam Tomlinson, who's off a knee injury, who missed most of last year, including the grand final, deep in defence, will settle things down and clear and get it out to about 60.
Yeah, wonderful to see him back. 2 Oxes. Witts over the back of Max Gawn, the over-the-shoulder free kick, and the Premiership skipper will get the free. Opening quarter, all with thanks to Shell V-Power. We've gone 2 minutes, yet to register a score. Has gone straight into the corridor. Ball spoiled. McDonald read it well. Gave it off to the runner. That's Jaden Hunt. Tripped over his own feet. Coming up with it. Ben Ainsworth off the edge of the centre square. Short little pass inside forward 50. And Levi Casbolt has taken the mark directly in front. 40 metres out. And the former Blue will go back looking to kick his first goal of the night.
Well, last time I looked...
That's unbelievable.
When a player in the opposition colours dives at you, Flanders it was, and it taps you on the ankle and you trip over, that is a free kick.
It was reportable about 7 years ago.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? This could go anywhere.
Well, this would be the perfect start. He needs to stand tall tonight, Levi. He stood tall. He got the distance, but the accuracy was always an issue. And offline. First score of the night goes the way of the Gold Coast Suns. They're one behind Melbourne yet to score. 3AW Saturday night footy. Shane McGuinness, Brad Hardy, and this man, the Ox.
Great word, Shane. Issue, because the Gold Coast Suns have been inside 3 times, and it's just lack of proficiency up forward at the moment.
Stephen May's gone long, straight out of the goal square, up towards Max Gawn, who got it forward to Ben Brown, who's marked at 65. He's got Pickett out wide, goes to him. He's 60 from home now. Waits, pops, kicks over the top. Shocking kick too. Going back with Swallow, he dropped a chest mark. Spargo was able to keep it alive. He shoveled it out in front of himself. There's Rowell. Oh, 1-2. Slipperoo, and away he goes. Handballs, bounces first, then gives it off to Miller. Miller's got Holman out wide. He'll go to him. And he's racked up 3 early possessions. Holman, he wants to go in short. Oh, not a great kick. Good work there by Joel Smith. And punches it over in front of Ainsworth. But Ainsworth, he'll win a free kick, and they'll set up off half-back here with the Gold Coast Suns.
So the Suns one behind, Melbourne yet to score. Shell V-Power scoreboard as the Suns keep it on this broadcast side of the ground. Goes over the head of Marbior Chol, staying down Spargo for Melbourne. Smart kept it inside the field of play. Chance now for Stephen May against his old side, but he's turned it straight over to Rory Atkins, the former Crow. His kick, grub it along the ground, and Chol meets it. We'll see a boundary throw in 50 metres around from goal for the Gold Coast Suns. Golf course or southern end of Metricon Stadium.
Just a work in progress, Marbior Chol, isn't he? He's just not sure when to go and when to stay. But he can give them something if they can get it in there quickly on a one-on-one.
4-year deal with the Gold Coast Suns coming up from the Tigers. Chance now for Holman. Received a handball from the Koshas to full forward. Ball bounces up. Just evaded Tomlinson. Chance here. I reckon it's too high against Hunt. And it's going to be a free kick going the way of the Gold Coast Suns, directly in front. 20 metres out. And I reckon it's Jeremy Sharp who's got it. It is. As I say, just 20 metres out. And Sharp, in just his 13th game of league footy, will go back for his second goal of the year. Kicked one straight last week against the Eagles.
We don't do it often. Give the umpire, Lenny Gluftus, a pat on the back there. She was on the outside locks looking in. Perfect vision of that.
Yep.
So saw the initial over the shoulder and paid it accordingly.
Well, this would be the perfect start for the Gold Coast Suns. Missed an opportunity a moment ago from Big Levi. But Jeremy Sharp. Sharp by name, Sharp by nature. 1-1-7. The Gold Coast Suns. Melbourne yet to score. We've gone 5 minutes opening quarter. That is all on the Collins House time clock. Here's the 1985 Brownlow medalist, Brad Hutt.
Well, it might just be the way they have to score tonight, boys, because it's not going to be conditions conducive for the high marking forward. It might be okay for Benny Brown at the other end, who might be able to get flat hands and get it on the second bite. Marbiot Chol's all over the place at the moment, not sure betwixt and between. So, the ball coming in and on the ground at ground level might be their most dangerous weapon they've got. So use it when you can. If you can't hit the big target, lace out. Make sure you kick it out in space and allow your little blokes to run onto the footy.
Just watching Jaden Hunt's attempted tackle there. That was poor. He stood
Panicked
up in the tackle and rather than getting down. So back in the middle, Melbourne behind the 8 ball early. Shane McGuinness tipped this. He said this was going to be very close. He didn't have the heart or the courage to tip them outright. Now the Suns, they get it again. They drive it up towards 50. Going back, taking a ripping grab. Is a man who's been brought back into the side in Trent Rivers. Wonderful grab.
Well, that's their depth box, isn't it? Salem goes out and the premiership player comes in.
Rivers comes in. He goes long. Up towards the middle. Not the greatest of kicks because coming through and taking a wonderful grab was Sam Collins with the Mushtaka. Marks in the centre of the ground. Asked to go. He shoots it out wide towards Chol. Tomlinson didn't go at the footy and Chol became a real headache for him. He's got the free. Goes on to that left. He wants to go inside the pocket. Up they fly. Casbolt didn't quite get on that occasion. Here's Oliver. First time we've seen him tonight. And Rivers very happy to take it over. And the Gold Coast Suns got a little bit of fire about them at the moment, Brad.
Yeah, they have. Tuke Miller the best on the ground in terms of disposal. He's got 6, Shane. Holman 4. Maxi Gawn leads all comers for the D's with 3.
Inside 50, 6-2 in favour of the Suns. 25 metres around from their goal here. Chance for Davies. Overran the footy. Rowell in the middle of the pack. Handball defensively. 51 out. Rory Atkins to the top of the goal square. The double-handed spoil from May came down to McDonald. Little chain of handballs for Melbourne. Neil Bullen rides the boundary line, and that's a nice mark taken by Harms. Umpire said
he juggled it.
Yeah, and he took the second bite after he'd crossed the white line, and thus a boundary throw in, and that's a big win for the Gold Coast Suns. 70 around from their goal.
Not much in it, but
Gee whiz.
To the letter of the law.
He's got his fingernails cut clearly.
Ball thrown in. Jackson in front. Witt's got a handball away. Sharked by Clayton Oliver. Just hacks it up to the wing. Ball bounces in the air. Chance for Caleb Graham of the Suns. Couldn't take it. Smart footy from Luke Jackson. Knocked it to his own advantage. Now a handball to Petrarca. Sends it inside forward 50. Big Ben Brown needs to beat 2. Spilled down to Collins. Wonderful tackle from Keziah Pickett. Ball at centre half back for the Gold Coast. Rowell was taken high by Jackson. And will get the free kick centre half back for the Suns.
Good umpiring right on the spot there, Brad.
well, they're first in at the moment, Ox. So
They're tougher, you're right, they're harder, and they are first in. Brandon Ellis, the ex-Tiger, he's got it, goes to half-back. They'll flick it around here, Fiorini, got it, to Collins, and he looks up. Waits, pulls the trigger now, and goes out towards centre wing. Good kick, found Witts, who just come onto the boundary. Gets it out towards Atkins, the ex-Crow, drives it up towards the hot spot. Casbolt went up, great crumbing. Oh, just missed was Ainsworth. Beautiful, beautiful bit of Kevin Bartlett work there off the pack. And just missed to the right. And Melbourne yet to score. Gold Coast 1-2-8. That's all on the Shell V-Power scoreboard.
yeah, very clever roving on Ainsworth. Should have nailed that.
Stephen May against his old side tonight in game number 50 for the Demons. Clears the goal square. Max Gawn, position 1A, couldn't mark. Plenty at the fall of the ball. Rivers one of those. Handball to Gawn. And now up towards centre wing. What can Melbourne build here? Petrarca.
Good kick.
Lively for Melbourne early. Centred it, Brad, to centre half forward. Jackson the mark. Handball. Clayton Oliver running by. Sends it into the left forward pocket. Fritsch couldn't read the bounce of the Sherrin. Sam Collins couldn't trap it either. It skids out of bounds right against the behind post. We'll see a boundary throw in Melbourne into attack.
Just being a bit cute at the moment, Brad.
Yeah, they are. Being a little bit too cute, but as I say, when you're playing the champion team in the competition, you're not only going to take your full chances, you've got to take your half chances as well at the other end of the ground.
Witts versus Jackson. Ball comes down. Good tackle, wrapped up. And that's Ballard, who had nowhere to go as Harms drop bared him, both arms and legs around him, and about 11 metres out we'll have the ball up. So Witts and Jackson. He's a strong man, Witts, did well, got it, then put it straight onto his boot. Toot Miller was in the right spot. He wants to keep it low, up towards Maxi Gawn, good work, and Holman. But Holman made sure it went over, and we'll have a throw in, about 80 metres around from the D's goal. And on the Shell V Power scoreboard, Gold Coast 1-8, D's yet to score. But they got 12 and a half minutes gone, and Melbourne haven't even had a shot at goal as yet.
Drayton, there's a great head-to-head going on here. Rowell versus Oliver. It's a beauty.
Keep an eye on that one, Bradley. Alex Davies got a handball. Look away over his head to Fiorini, who sends it up toward right half forward. I thought that might have been a free kick to Holman. Umpire called play on. Neil Bullen extracts the footy, gets a handball out wide to Bowie, and now Tomlinson. Not a great kick. Bounces up for the Suns. Chance for Ballard. Gives it off. Took Miller 45 metres out for the Suns. Second misses.
Hit the stick.
The best and fairest of last year, elevated to co-captain in 2022. Tell you what, if nothing else, they're exciting to watch early. The Suns 1-3-9. Melbourne yet to score. 3AW Saturday night footy for Maccas.
Shane McGuinness is up and about. He tipped this. He tipped it early. Up they flew. Max Gawn missed it. Good work by Ellis. They get it outside. Davies. He's there back in front of goal. Gasbolt! Too big and strong. And Mark's in front of Jaden Hunt.
There's a chance from here.
He's 8 metres out, and this is no given.
Well, round the corner, this is his go. I'd rather him kick it round the corner than kick it straight at it.
All right, you've got to keep your shoulders square to the target. He comes around,
and
he's got the second on the board.
Never in doubt.
The first goal for Casbolt, and Melbourne stuck in quicksand. There's Zippo. Gold Coast 2-3-15. And we've got 12 minutes of play left of this first term, Brad. And can you explain to our listeners what the hell is going on?
I can tell you what's going on. It is Rowell versus Oliver. So they're cancelling each other out to a degree. Now what they're doing, Toot Miller and Petrarca, believe it or not, are almost going head-to-head. At stoppages, Petrarca is getting picked up by Toot Miller, but it's team defence against Petrarca. Melbourne aren't worrying about Toot Miller. He's rocketed up to 9 disposals already at the, about the 10-minute mark of the first quarter. So he is dangerous.
16 games in a row last year, Brad, a record. all in excess of 30 possessions.
Yeah.
The only player in AFL history to have done that. Took Miller. Had such an outstanding season. We're seeing that come to the fore tonight. Marbior Chol has been moved into the ruck. He wins the tap here. Chance for Noah Anderson. Took too long for mine and for the umpires, and it'll be a free kick to Melbourne in the middle of Metricon Stadium. The D's still yet to score. After 12 minutes, Jackson the free kick goes short, and now Bowie takes the mark. What a story this young man is. Premiership in his debut year, yet to play in a loss for the Demons. Toward the forward pocket. Collins knocked it away, for the ball, Harms, hooks it around his body, back toward full forward, and all Tom McDonald can do is spoil it away from Charlie Ballard. The result, Ox, is a boundary throw-in, left forward pocket. Again, Melbourne deep into attack. Let's see if they can get a score here.
It's a great sign when your ruckman, which is Jackson in this case, is the man laying the tackle in the middle of the ground.
He looks fired up, Jackson. The other players look a bit sleepy. There's Pickett, comes towards the foot, he couldn't keep it alive. And we'll have another throw-in, 30 metres around. Just some other stats. Stephen May is the leading possession winner for the D's. He's had 4. And that's because the back line has seen a fair bit of traffic in the last 10 minutes or so. Thrown back in. Sparse crowd in at Metricon Stadium. Max wins the tap down. Trying to keep the ball alive. They want to flip it out. They can't quite at the moment. Really good work there done by Powell. And now they're out. Good scrubby kick, but Jackson sets up the wall. Doesn't quite take the mark. Bowie's there. He goes back to Smith. Now onto May. Trying to work their way back and gave it back to Smith. And now inside 50. Brown flew. Joel, he's back. Good work defensively. Gets the kick away. Trying to work it. Demons, though, the wall is strong. Bowie and Harms again. Back to Rivers, and they'll just set it up slightly, but not a good kick. Coming through was Powell for the Gold Coast Suns.
Outstanding mark from Will Powell on the intercept, Brad, in front of Jack Viney.
Absolute ripper, but Ox is right. They're just starting to get their ducks in a row now, Melbourne. They're getting a kick behind the play. The wall is starting to form. They'll get that repeat entry back into their own 50.
Powell keeps it on the broadcast wing. May tries to go up behind Casbolt. Can't take the mark. A boundary throw in dead centre wing, broadcast side. Just forward centre wing, I should say, on this broadcast side of Metricon Stadium. The Gold Coast Suns are 2-3-15. The Demons yet to score. 3AW Saturday night footy from Maccas. Boundary throw in. Scholl might have pushed Jackson out of the ruck contest. And it's going to be a free kick to the rising star of 2021.
Just clumsy.
You've noticed a few errors from Chol, though, early, Brad.
As I say, he's a work in progress, but I don't mind him being on the ball. I prefer him actually on the ball and in the forward line.
Not a great kick from Jackson. Bounces up for Powell. Kicks down the centre corridor. Spearing ball. Casbolt marks inside the centre square. Wants to give the handball off to a runner. That runner on this occasion is Powell once more. 51 out. Little chip kick inside forward 50. Davies couldn't mark. Bowie steals it away. He goes short to Langdon, who's been hardly sighted so far tonight in the right back pocket.
It's a good call. Langdon, who was very, very good last week. Exceptional, in fact.
Well, that's how he's going to get himself rolling. He's got to roll back and be a 7th defender and then help them running the ball through the lines up the ground as he goes. And you'll see him up the ground a bit more and forward it sometimes as well.
Bowie goes long up the line. There's Spargo. Just got to pick it up. Oh, he could have been pushed in the back. Free kick's going to be played. It's going to go to... The umpire doesn't know. Oh, it's going to go to the Gold Coast Suns. So the Suns have got it. Brandon Ellis goes in short. Good work. Finds his teammate there in Ainsworth, and they're running back to Ellis. He gets inside 50. Shocking kick. And big Max goes back. Just takes a nice uncontested mark in defensive 50.
Yeah.
But they're good to organise.
And so they kick behind the play wall. Starting to look really solid now.
Max goes long. She's not really well sharked there by the D's as Ellis, who's been very busy. Oliver, he now at the ground level gets it, goes back to Rivers. Rivers just kicks and hope, and that's what's happening all the way through at the moment. Just long, high kicks to the contest, which is a real issue. And we'll have a ball up on centre wing.
Hasn't Sam Collins been a great recruit for them defensively, Brad?
Oh, he's a beauty. He's a competitor. He likes to, but what he does is he makes his opponent his immediate starting point. He doesn't stand 10 metres off, give him a chance.
Former Fremantle Docker went to Werribee for a year and then found his way up to the Gold Coast. Rao given space, handball off. Noah Anderson, his kick up toward left half forward. Might have been a push. The out of zone umpire spotted it. It's going to go the way of Levi Casbolt. So big Levi, still a good 60 from home.
He's been
Left
good.
half forward for the Gold Coast Suns. Now toward the hot spot. Players fly. Powell stayed down. So too Atkins. Sexton a fumble. Couldn't quite get boot to ball. Bowie looks to clear the danger zone. Lunging at the footy Swallow. He couldn't take the mark. Held on for a moment was Powell. No free kick. Trying to keep it inside the field of play was Sparrow. Ultimately ran out of tarmac. I'll tell you what, this game's gone up a level, but Melbourne still can't get on the scoreboard.
Oh, it's good pressure.
Suns 2-3-15, D's yet to score.
Good pressure by the Gold Coast Suns forwards there. If they can't mark it, they're endeavouring to lock it in there. It's good stuff.
They've been better at ground level. Spargo better wake up because his couple of efforts of his are questionable. Petrarca bulldozed his way through. Oliver on the move. Didn't pick it up. On that occasion, they tried to break it out. Holman was good. Max Gawn's there, setting up the wall again. Just drops the kick in short. Fritsch had to spoil. Good work. Rowell wrapped up in a tackle. Now Oliver got it. Slammed it onto his boot. There's no method in their madness. It's just to get it forward. And right on the apex of the 50 in the boundary line, the ball goes over. And we'll have a throw in.
No.
That's
kick.
deliberate.
That's
Can you explain that, please, Bradley, what just happened?
Well, the kick forward was a loose one. It was trying to get the ball going their way, Melbourne. It trundled as our ball can do over the line. The umpire paid it deliberate. Fortunately, the Gold Coast Suns kicked it straight back out on the full.
So insufficient intent, the letter of the law now, and that's how they adjudicated it for Tom McDonald. As David Swallow again takes the defensive mark, and those penetrating kicks inside 50 for Melbourne, Brad, they're having no penetration at the end of the day.
No, it's not the mark kick game tonight, Shane.
Ball comes out to the wing. Out of side, Smith. Short little handball. Melbourne look to build now. Jackson between wing and half forward for the Demons. Inside 50s, 12-7 in favour of the Suns. Jackson, the rising star of last year, sets it inside forward 50 again to the pocket. 3-on-1 Suns with numbers. Ball comes to ground. Chance for Oliver. Handball to Sparrow. Handball to Jackson. Short little pass. Max Gawn. The apprentice goes to the master. And now Max Gawn will have a shot 45-degree angle, 35 metres out.
When was the last time you see the ruckman kick it to the ruckman on the same side? Doesn't happen that often.
No, that's true. And he's having a real purple patch at the moment, Luke Jackson. He's a star in the making. There's no doubt about that. And Maxi's been setting up behind the centre square and taking a few marks, helping the defenders out. Now he's been able to push forward because you've got a bloke as talented as Jackson going onto the ball and doing some ruck roverish type stuff around the ground.
His goal kicking was on song last week, a masterful goal. And now this time it's offline to the right, or did it squeeze in? It did. It squeezed in for a major, and Melbourne on the board with their first six-pointer of the night. One straight six, the Demons. Gold Coast 2-3-15. That is all on the Shell V-Power scoreboard. Tell you what, Brad, I'll need to look at the replay, or I need to get to Specsavers because I didn't see that go to the correct side of the post.
Rookie error, Shane. Rookie error. Always watch the player. Watch the player's reaction. Don't watch anything else. They'll tell you if they kicked the goal or not.
There it is.
There it is. Yeah. Maxie, give himself a little clap. He was ready.
Well, I think that's one trick that they can do, Bradley. They can do that. They can put Gawn in the forward line, make Luke Jackson go around the midfield and really stretch the defence of the Gold Coast Suns.
He's got Dean Cox abilities, Luke Jackson. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
You know, we can get around the ground. As I say, he becomes almost like a fifth midfielder, and that's brilliant.
Well, back in the middle now. Let's have a look at this midfield. Rowell, he's good.
Leg.
He saw the footy, got it onto Miller. He got another possession. Not a good one though because Viney comes through. Great tackle there by Sharp. Got the ball loose though because it is slippery. Out to Jackson with another touch. Rivers off half back, then goes short and misses Spargo with a poor kick. That's the Dewey conditions, and out of bounds it goes. About 75 around from Melbourne's end.
Ox Miller 10, Rowell 9 for the Suns. Bowie 9 for the Demons. Oliver and Gawn along with Jackson 7 apiece.
Yeah, there's a few players playing away from each other. There is Wetsy, got it out. It's a good tackle there by Neil Bullen. Miller, he needs to pick it up clean. Alex Neil Bullen's got him. Handball away. Jackson again, he's in the right spot. On the left foot, goes out towards Spargo. He attacks the footy, good tackle. Coming through now is Sparrow. He's wrapped up in a tackle by Powell. And the umpire says, give it to me. 47 metres around. On the Shell V Power scoreboard, the Gold Coast 2-3-15. The D's 1 goal straight 6. 5 minutes to go.
48 out from goal for the Demons. Brandon Ellis has got the point of his foot to the ball, but was pushed as he got the kick away. Ben Brown tries to knock it to a teammate. Anderson, though, got the pick up. Swept the handball off to Alice, to Miller. And that's a poor kick because it's intercepted on the wing. Brayshaw goes short to the point of the square. Half forward for Melbourne. Neil Bullen to the pocket. Ben Brown.
Yeah, Witt's not happy because he got matched up on him. He said, I might be the ruckman, but if someone's going to drop back, I need someone to pick up the full forward.
Yeah. Well, hasn't had a lot of room, Ben Brown, up there, because the Gold Coast defence midfielders all rolling back a line just to cover the space. So it's normally a lovely kick. Probably has to start this just inside the right-hand goal post because it will drift a little bit.
Kicked 4 goals, 1 in their last match here at Metricon Stadium last year. This for his first of the night. More acute than a 45-degree angle. Gee, it looks good. It is very, very good for Ben Brown. 2 in a row to the Demons, and all of a sudden, they found their mojo at Metricon Stadium. 2 straight 12 Melbourne, Gold Coast 2-3-15. That is all on the Shell V Power scoreboard. Fuel the winning feeling at Shell with 3 million prizes to give away. T's and C's apply. Visit shell.com.au/winning for details.
That was a delightful finish. There's a bit of a vortex there at this particular ground, and as I said, he just had to start it inside the right-hand goalpost, Ox, because it was going to just straighten a little bit right to left, and he hit it sweetly. That is brilliant.
We'll give it a goal of the day too for Sheen Panel Service.
Not an easy kick. That is a really hard pocket, Brad. You're right.
You'd have kicked it.
Well, yeah, you know. The good players can kick them, and
here we go.
And Brown is a very good player. Kicked 3 last week. He's now got 4 for the year. It's the sort of output the D's will be looking for. Jackson back in the middle, up against Witts. Comes down Petrarca, starting to get busy. Slammed it onto his boot. Gets it inside 50. Up they fly. Where's it going to land? Comes down. Good work by Sparrow. Gave to Neil Bullen. He's got players over the top. Brown's one of them. Hits the ground. Really good work there. Wonderful work there by Collins. He slapped it away. Good work by Fiorini. They get it out, but they've got the wall set up, the D's. Petrarca's there. Drives it back inside 50. Brown up again. Hits the turf once more. Ballard gets around one. Beautiful turn. Puts it under his boot and gets it out towards 60.
Become a really talented defender, Charlie Ballard, and now Alice to Miller. Thought about sprinting off half-back. Instead went laterally. Gave the handball to Rowell. Rowell to Anderson. Through the middle of Metricon Stadium. Takes the running bounce. Sends it inside 50. May over the back. Couldn't take the mark. Had time to recover. Short little kick finds Jordan. Loops the handball over the top and now Harms. Releases Bowie. Down the broadcast wing to left half forward. Fly to the ball, Petrarca. They're building here, Melbourne. Petrarca sends it to the top of the goal square. Little bit of holding on Sparrow against Ellis. Umpire said there was nothing in it. The ball skids out of bounds. Throw in right forward pocket for the Demons. They're 2 straight 12. Kicked the last 2 goals of the match. Still trail the Suns 2-3-15.
You won't see it on the stat sheet. What a chase by Cozzy Pickett. Noah Anderson thought he was out. There was a little buzzard coming behind him and running down.
He nearly got him. Miller at ground level, really good. Langdon, though, he might pick it up. He got the handball away to Oliver, who's been very fumbly. Could have been too high. Umpire said that's fine. Good work by Holman. He's got it. Plays on. Might be in a bit of strife here. Oh, Brayshaw picked his pocket. He went to handball and he picked it and away he went. He got it to Rivers. Now to Langdon. The Langdon will drive it inside 50. Where's Brown? Up he went over the top. Petrarca's there. And couldn't quite get his boot on it.
Hit the behind post.
Hit the behind post, so that means we'll have a throw in. But it is a frenetic pace at the moment, Brad.
Oh, yeah, as I said, you could just sense Melbourne were getting into stride. They're building the wall, a kick behind the play, and they're really starting to bite on the Suns right at the minute.
Enjoyable opening quarter. I hope you're enjoying the call on 3AW Saturday Night Footy as Rowell around his body, kick smothered off the boot, ricochet to Oliver. He takes a flying shot at goal and misses to the near side. His eyes lit up with that opportunity, Bradley.
That would have hurt.
He's got the Cam Smith moustache, hasn't he?
Yeah.
It's not pretty.
2-1-13 Melbourne, Suns 2-3-15 as Brandon Ellis.
Like there was half a decent breeze that would blow off.
Brings it back into play. Short little kick. Finds Collins. Poorly executed kick in the end from Collins is punched away out of bounds and another boundary throw in.
Shane, 2 minutes to go in the quarter. Tuke out 15 times.
So he's on track for 60 tonight.
Peter Featherby. he He might break 60.
Boundary throw in 70 around from goal for Melbourne.
Jackson, good punch away, but didn't find his teammate in Clayton Oliver. And when I mentioned Cam Smith, I'm talking about the golfer, not the Melbourne Storm champion.
Well, about 5 of them, isn't it?
Or the car racing driver, or the jockey, or the water polo specialist. So thrown back in now. Maxi Gawn up against Witts. There's Oliver. Got the handball back. James Jordan, it's smothered though. Really well done there by Atkins. They win the footy back. They drive it up towards 50. Casbolt on the lead. Didn't quite get it. Thomason didn't want the footy. Brayshaw did. He dived on top of it on Ainsworth. Petrarca to help him out. Breaks one tackle. Gets around a second. Goes in short. Could be a dangerous kick. It needs to pay off for Brayshaw. Good work there by Neil Bullen. Nearly wrapped up. Jordan for the D's. Now to Rivers. They'll slow things down and they find Oliver on centre wing. He's got a loose over the top and it's Petrarca and he's got his own footy in the last 5 minutes. He's up to number 9. Petrarca brings it in. Shocking kick. Miller cuts it off. Hits the ground. Crowd really like Miller's effort at the moment because he's had 16. Brayshaw just fumbled one at the end. Rao, he brought it in. Rao might be in trouble. And the free kick's going to go to the D's for
I think it was a push in the back to Brayshaw, I think. Came in late.
So the D's have got it in the centre square.
So 55 seconds remaining in this opening term. Brayshaw has it, still inside the centre square.
He might have called it against Rao for sliding in with the knees.
Good 75 from home, sends it to the pocket. Fritsch takes the lead. Max Gawn in the pocket, doesn't have anyone to handball to, and it bounces out of bounds and a throw in. 25 around from goal for Melbourne. They've really dominated the last 8 to 10 minutes, Brad.
They have, Shane. Well, they've got to block up every exit here, the Gold Coast Suns. Can ill afford to give anybody a chance, just have a flying shot out of nowhere here.
2-point ball game, Suns lead. Ball thrown in, Jackson grabs it out of the ruck, shot a goal on the left, around his body. That is mercurial football, Luke Jackson. And he continues with his rising star form in the new year. Melbourne hit the front, 3-1-19, Gold Coast 2-3-15. That one is a goal of the day for Sheen.
Well, I said, Shane, they've got to block up all the exits. Mind you, the boundary umpire was a pretty shallow boundary throw in, to be honest. But you've got to react. And you can't be too far out. He had the break. Jared Witch was already 1 or 2 metres behind him, Ox. And once the ball was coming in short, there was no betting who was going to get there first.
You got to remember, he's 204 centimetres and he's finished on the left.
Tall blokes can do that.
Yeah.
Not many.
No, he's had 9 touches, 2 hit-outs and a goal. And he hasn't even been the main ruckman for the first quarter. So a pretty good start for Luke Jackson. I know, very loved and very, very muchly wanted a 10-year signature down at Melbourne, Bradley, if they could get it.
Yeah,
there will be a lot of teams, especially over in the West.
Well, they should never have let him get out of the loop. The Fremantle Dockers, West Coast sold the farm to get Tim Kelly, so they had no hope of getting him.
Max Gawn's given away the free. Touk Miller came in. He snatched it. He drove it back inside 50. Up it goes. There's Casbolt again. He's been really busy. Fiorini, now Brayshaw dives at the footy. And the umpire says, we'll have a throw in 25 metres around. And he disguised that beautifully. He wanted the boundary line and then he dived for it to make it look as though he was doing the right thing.
Gold Coast, the effort's been there, just losing the execution at the moment. Just nearly this, nearly that at the moment.
Michelle V. Power scoreboard. 15 plays, 19 in favour of the D's. Good work. Now Ainsworth has got it from the throw in. He snaps towards goal and misses everything. And out of bounds as the clock trickles down to 3 seconds. And the D's, who didn't look like it at halfway through the quarter, they'll end quarter time by 4 points in front at Metricon Stadium. And there's the siren. Gold Coast 2-3-15, Melbourne 3-1-19 in what has been a wonderful, entertaining game of footy between two sides sitting in the 8th, 7th and 5th respectively.
Matt Rowell and Max Gawn with a little bit to say to each other at quarter time. Plenty happening here at Metricon Stadium on the Gold Coast. One other match being played tonight, that between Hawthorn and Port Adelaide midway through the second quarter. The Hawks lead the Power 5-3-33, Port Adelaide 3-5-23. That match about 20 minutes ahead of ours. Here at Metricon Stadium on the Gold Coast, it's the Demons by 4 points at quarter time. And for Maccas, 3AW is Saturday Night Footy.
At your local Foodworks store, you'll be able to shop a huge range at value prices with your neighbourhood grocer who loves food. When you shop at your local Foodworks, you can expect great deals. You'll also have an easy shop. And at half-time, while you're watching the footy, run in and grab some extra snacks and nibbles to get you through the rest of the game. With nearly 400 stores, there's always one nearby. Shop local and save. Foodworks. That works.
If you're a dedicated fan of greyhound racing, the Watchdog app is dedicated to you. Watch every Victorian greyhound race, live and free. Download the app or follow Watchdog Racing on Twitter or Facebook and gamble responsibly. Proud supporter of 3AW Football.
Hey Dad, what do you know about Car City?
I think you mean Car City.
Dad.
Sorry. I know it's the largest used car complex in the Southern Hemisphere.
Yeah, well, their new finance team, Easyland, offers quick and easy car loans, and you do need a new set of wheels.
Yes, a convertible would be nice, or seat warmers, or a convertible with seat warmers.
Hold on. Let's go. Come on.
See every car at carcity.com.au or 415 Maroondah Highway, Ringwood.
All right, lads, look, it's been a bloody soft first half. Johnson, mate, you're asleep out there. Stand up straight. Billy, you're looking absolutely stretched. Hairline, where's the staying power? Stop going backwards.
Treating common men's health problems shouldn't be hard. Pilot connects men in Australia with real doctors online for best-in-class treatments for common health issues. For easy, safe and confidential healthcare from the comfort of home, visit pilot.com.au today. Pilot, level up your health.
And Pecker, try making it to the siren this time.
The revolutionary new Spinalese mattress has groundbreaking technology never seen before. One button controls the firmness perfectly. See it now at spinalese.com.au. That's spinaleze.com.au.
Go into Tyre Power and say, "G'day mate, got some tyres?" And they'll say, 100% we do. The store-wide super sale is now on. You can buy 3, get 1 free on Kumo tyres. And that's why they're experts in tyres. tyrepower.com.au.
We're taking the next step, and Australia's economic plan is helping. Infrastructure projects like Snowy Hydro 2.0 and the Inland Rail are creating jobs, and skilling the workforce will fill the jobs of the future. Today, the plan keeps taxes low and delivers affordable, reliable energy, and that's good for all Australians. For more about Australia's economic plan, visit economicplan.gov.au. Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
The Nick Scali Autumn Sale ends this Sunday. Last days to save up to 40% off a huge range of quality living, dining and bedroom furniture. The Nick Scali Autumn Sale ends Sunday.
3AW Footy Highlights.
Davies back in front of goal. Gasbolt! Too big and strong. And marks in front of Jaden Hunt. He comes around and he's got the second on the board.
Never in doubt.
Short little pass. Max Gawn will have a shot 45-degree angle, 35 metres out. It's offline to the right, or did it squeeze in? It did. It squeezed in for a major, and Melbourne on the board with their first 6-pointer of the night. Neil Bullen to the pocket. Ben Brown. More acute than a 45-degree angle. Gee, it looks good. It is very, very good for Ben Brown. Ball thrown in. Jackson grabs it out of the ruck. Shot a goal on the left, around his body. That is mercurial football, Luke Jackson. And he continues with his rising star form in the new year. Demons by 4 points at quarter time, 3-1-19, leading the Gold Coast Suns 2-3-15. Saturday night footy on 3AW, all with thanks to Maccas. Shane McGuinness, David Schwartz, and with a couple of numbers and his thoughts on that opening quarter, Brad Hardy.
Yeah, Shane, of course, inside 50s was interesting. It was the Gold Coast Suns who were dominating early in the quarter, but they finished with 14, and it was all the Demons in the end. They end up finishing the quarter with 17. So you could just see how the momentum swung as the quarter wore on. Look, Tuke Miller's been outstanding with 17 disposals. He's been everywhere. 3 rebounding out of 50, 3 inside 50s. Just needing to hit the scoreboard, though. You've got to hit the scoreboard. If you're getting the ball that much, David, you've got to be a contributor on the scoreboard. And at the moment, it's not happening. Ellis 11, Rowell 11, Noah Anderson with 8. Holman started like a bomb, slowed up a little bit towards the end. He had 7. For the Demons, Oliver and Bowie both have 10. Petrarca, Jackson, that was the difference in the game. Luke Jackson going on the ball because Witts was doing okay against Maxi. Maxi was forced to go behind the centre for most of the ball, most of that quarter while the Gold Coast peppered away. But then they said, righto, Luke, on you go. He becomes like a ruck rover.
It's
he becomes like
luxury, isn't it?
It's
the greatest weapon, being able to do that.
He's been brilliant. He's been getting it in the air, on a ground level, throwing out handballs, throwing off passes. So he's had a really good say in things. And just the Melbourne defence has been a little bit more rock solid than the Gold Coast Suns, even though they only trail by a few points.
We spoke about it pre-game, Brad, the fact that Isaac Rankin was laid out tonight, kicked 4 goals, won last week against the West Coast Eagles, so they lose him inside their forward line. They, of course, don't have Ben King this year. They just seem to be missing a target inside forward.
Levo was okay. He was okay. At least he's providing something. And Marbiot Scholl's the one they've got to get a lift out of. As I say, he's a work in progress. He's got to spend more time on the ball than forward, I reckon.
Second quarter brought to you by Robot Building Supplies. And, of course, 3AW Footy brought to you by Macca's. And back in the middle now, and up they go. And Jackson, they've given him the first go at it. And he wins it out towards Oliver. Gets the tap away, but Gold Coast, they're set up and they're set up really well. Fiorini comes up at the footy. He's asked to go. In fact, it's Ainsworth. He goes long up towards the forward 50, and Casbolt just slipped through his palms. And over the boundary line it goes. We'll have a throw in, 50 metres out. Just, is that Lukosius getting a bit of work done on, or is it Anderson? Anderson might be getting a little bit of work done on his left hand. So we'll keep an eye on that. Looked like a thumb injury. Thrown back in now. There's Witts, bit fumbly, and you're 7 foot almost, and it's Dewey. The ball is slippery, Brad, very hard to bend over, so he just thought he'd soccer it off the ground. We'll have another throw.
Easy conditions, flat hands, Ox, as you say.
Yep.
Just keep the ball in front, don't let it get out of the back.
It's unbelievable though, Rail hasn't fumbled, and either has Petrarca. So the good players in slippery conditions are still good. There's Viney, he was pretty quiet. Petrarca got it, slammed the boot away. Swallow picked it up with one effort. Got it onto his boot, in towards 50. Up goes Casbolt again. A beautiful grab out in front of May, and he's marked in the pocket 25 metres around on the wrong side for a right footer, and this is near on impossible, Brad.
Identical to the position where Big Benny Brown had shot in the first quarter. So, again, just a little nuance of this ground inside the right-hand goal post. But we know
he's going to kick a banana. He can't kick a banana from there. He's too far out. So Casbolt comes in. Kicking's not his forte, and he's got it on the wrong side. He's done a reverse banana, and he's missed by 50.
That's awful.
He started from 30, and he missed by 50.
Well, that was the frustrations when he was at the Blues. He could get it.
Well, if he fell out of a boat, he would have landed on the boat ramp. That's how bad he was going. And as a result, Tomlinson's got the free kick deep in defence.
Yeah, he won't want to address that one with Stuart Dew after the game. Kick it from Tomlinson. Up toward the wing, couple of grabs, Gawn. Sends it up toward the AFL logo, charging in. Ballard fighting for it alongside Tom McDonald. Now a chance for the Suns through Lemons to Powell. Handball into the centre of the ground. Shark though by Viney. Viney turns it over. Back to Lemons. Handball to Took Miller. He in turn tries to get it forward. Atkins fumbled. Melbourne get it back. Chance now for Neil Bullen. Settled. Handball out wide. Harms. Good kick. Pitches it out in front of Spargo. Hemmed against the boundary line. One way then the other. Steps around his opponent in Brandon Ellis. Then lace out. Puts it in front of Bailey Fritsch, who's more acute than a 45-degree angle. Would have to kick from 51, 52, Brad. And the eyes are darting.
Really coming to his own the last 12, 18 months, Spargo, I reckon, as a player.
Fritsch is going to set it up. At the top of the goal square, Gawn's there, 1-2, couldn't complete it. Petrarca came charging through, tackled, Shark the tackle, now knocked it on to Viney.
Holding the ball. Oh, you're...
Oh!
I swore the umpire blowing the whistle.
I thought the umpire put his hand up as well. I heard a whistle because he did a 720.
I reckon that was going to be my best call ever, Brad, and you ruined it. 4-1-25 Melbourne, Gold Coast 2-3-15. That is all on the Robot Building Supplies scoreboard. Jack Viney gets the goal.
No iron team, Shane. That is incredible. That is incredible. He was...
How many prior opportunity did he get there, Christian Petrarca?
Four, I reckon. And they were supposed to be red hot on that. So that's not a great decision. And he didn't even handball it off in the end. So a poor decision there by the umpire. Well, he might have got a handball away, but he had plenty of time, didn't he? He got at the top of the 10-metre square, and when he handballed it out, it was 25 from home.
Yeah, that's crazy bad. that one. That's crazy.
So
bad.
Jack Viney, who Brad was asking for a lift, has just given the D's a lift.
Who was that bloke in Welcome Back Cotter? Was that Arnold Horshack?
Yeah, that was Horshack.
I'm so confused.
Up they go again. Jackson's doing all the ruck work for the D's. They get the handball away. Not a good one. Petrarca there in front of Miller. Good tackle there by Miller. Coming through. Could have been taken. Was Petrarca again? No, the free kick's going to be paid to Davies. He's been taken high, and Davies has won a free kick for the Gold Coast Suns. So
it was the first free kick as opposed to the second one.
He was on the centre wing as Viney took out Petrarca. Davies goes long up towards Jackson, and Charles over the top.
That's better.
With a second grab. A wonderful grab. In fact, mark of the day thanks to Foodworks. That was beautiful. He came up, and on the second effort, he brought it down, and he'll have a shot 45 out, 45-degree angle.
He needs a foil. He needs someone else to attract the crowd, and he can be the last man in. And that's exactly what he did on that occasion. Third man up. Everybody else was jostling and posturing for position. He was able to fly over the top.
They've had some chances, and they've fluffed them, so this one has to go through. Mobile Chol. Beautiful kick. Wonderful kick. And the Gold Coast Suns have got their third. And they're 3-3, 21 to the D's, who are going along semi-okay, 4-1, 25. All that on the Robot Building Supply scoreboard, Brad Hardy.
Yeah, I'm pleased for him. He'll do his confidence the world of good as well, because, as I say, they say this game's 95% above the shoulders, and that's correct. And he just had to start trying to mix it up, trying to read the ball better in flight, and get to the contest when the ball arrives. He's been running the spaces, so the ball's been popping on his head, going over his head. He's been missing contests time after time. On that occasion, he just read it beautifully.
Tomlinson hasn't had a good evening.
No.
So he got taken to the cleaners in the first quarter by Casbolt, and now Charles just kicked another one on him. So he'd want to tighten up a little bit.
That's what can happen. He was off for a long time, wasn't he?
Was.
So you're first up, you're full of pep and you're running on top of the ground. The second up, you're a little bit like a racehorse. Sometimes you can be a little flat.
And a run of 4 goals from the Demons as they look to get the clearance here, Melbourne. Gorn down to Oliver. Towards centre half forward, Jackson did well, gave the handball off to the runner, Petrarca, fumbled, knocked it to his own advantage, handball to Neil Bullen, he in turn got it off, chance now for McDonald, handball to Keziah Pickett, right forward pocket, kicks as he's pushed, and that's outstanding from Keziah Pickett for his first goal of the night, and the quick reply goes the way of the Demons. 5-1-31 Melbourne, leading the Gold Coast Suns 3-3-21 on the Robot Building Supply scoreboard.
Yeah, I thought they were playing like millionaires there for a bit, but anyway, they were able to keep the ball going forward. Handball. Tricky little handball, wasn't great for McDonald. Anyway, because he deserved that chase that you and I recognised in the first quarter. The harder you work, the luckier you get. He probably wasn't even involved in that play. He wasn't meant to be. It was just a little fumble, and he was spotted outside there by McDonald, and he was able to kick the ball around the body. Beautiful finish.
Sometimes you need a possession like that to find some form, because he was pretty ordinary last week.
Yeah.
He started slow. He didn't have a great grand final, so he's trying to work his way into some sort of, really reliable, consistent footballer.
I say sometimes you got to just roll your sleeves up, do the 1%ers, and then all of a sudden you get lucky.
Those chases. So they've made the change. Max Gorn back into the middle up against Witts. He's got a big job this evening. Oliver, ground level, gave it on. Sparrow drove it inside 50, and they're straight in there again. There's McDonald, wrapped up the tackle. There was Ballard. He tried to break it. He could be in strife, and the umpire says no prior. So we'll have a ball up, 30 around. So Tom McDonald now drifted back forward, up against Witts, hits the ground. Oliver snaps onto his boot on the left. Oh, that's a wonderful goal! What a goal that is! Goal of the day, thanks to Sheen Panel Service. Oh, Oliver, that's great crumbing, Brad. And that is poor defensive work by the Gold Coast Suns. And the D's have got their 6th goal. They're 6-1-37. The Gold Coast 3-3-21 on the Robot Building Supply scoreboard.
And the beautiful thing is Oxford have got 6 individual goal scorers. So Simon Goodwin will be absolutely wrapped with that. But you're right. I mean, look, if it's going to be hard, the contest in the ruck, ball comes to ground, you've got to make sure you're first in there. Everybody was standing back. Oliver said, well, if none of you want it, I'm going.
I'll go get it.
He just swooped on that footy, got it on the half volley, and was able to put it on the boot. Much better game from him this week. He had his numbers last week, wasn't as effective. Tonight he's had the 14, including 10 contested possessions and now a goal. That's a pretty good game.
6 of the past 7 goals have gone the way of Melbourne, and now is the time that Gold Coast need to remain in touch because Melbourne looking threatening as they go forward again. Petrarca 50 metres out of the centre circle. McDonald underneath it, couldn't take the chest mark. Powell dives on top of him, Ballard as well. And we'll see a ball up 40 metres out from goal for Melbourne.
He's having an almost game, Tom McDonald.
Yeah.
Getting his hands to it, but just almost.
Wits,
Call
the
him
tap. Noah Anderson looks to clear the congestion. In toward the centre of the ground. May knocked it to Bowie. He in turn with a handball. Jordan. And now around his body, up toward right half forward. Brandon Ellis knocked it away from Spargo. Flicks up a handball to Rory Atkins. Looks for a bit of space. Now delivers the handball off. Back to Noah Anderson. And that's out of bounds on the full, and that's a bad error. Melbourne 6-1-37. Gold Coast 3-3-21. 3AW. Saturday night footy. It's all with thanks to Macca's. And don't forget, you can get your hands on 40 pieces of chicken McNuggets with the new spicy, sticky barbecue sauce. 40? 40.
Don't know if that's enough. Fritsch.
You can get 2 packs.
Good work. Picked it up. Wrapped up there by Ballard. Oh, he got the handball away. They gave him a long, long time. Ainsworth wrapped up, and if Glennie Gufkus will go, give it to me this time.
It's easy for you to say.
It's not easy. It's not easy.
Ox, the Suns were composed in the first quarter. They've lost their composure here, folks.
Yeah, they're getting rattled. They're under enormous pressure. Free kick will come back.
Everything's hurried.
And it's going to go to Jared Witts in the ruck.
It's no handballs to create. It's handball to say, well, it's not my problem anymore.
So Witts goes long down the line. I don't think it's a great kick because he's just put his teammate there, which was Collins, or in fact Flanders, under enormous pressure. And we'll have a throw in.
He was on the Simpsons, wasn't he?
Ned. He was very Christian-like, Brad, unlike you. Oh, you might be Christian, I'm not sure.
Thank you.
Never spoken religion.
Take that back.
We'll probably leave it at that. Good work there by Maxi Gawn. Got the tap down, but Tuke Miller, he's having some afternoon. Gets the ball, shrugs his shoulders, gets it inside 50. Holman's up there, so is May. And the boundary line will be the friend as May just picks up Holman and throws him over the fence almost, just with a bit of brute strength. So just on the scoreboard, the Building Supplies scoreboard, the Robot Building Supplies scoreboard, Gold Coast 21, Melbourne 37.
Ball to be tossed in, 20 around from goal for the Suns. Witts, the tap, Oliver does the roving work. Gave it to Viney, rode a hip and shoulder, affected the kick, allowed Swallow to take possession, middle of the ground, kicks inside forward 50, and Alex Davies takes the mark. I reckon he just had enough of it to claim it, and in just his third game of AFL footy, will go back looking for just his second goal.
Let's have a look at the replay on that one, Brad. Did you think he had enough of it?
I thought he did, David, yeah, because the player coming in from behind crashed him in the back, and that's what dislodged the footy.
Okay.
So,
even that was his own man.
Directly in front, Alex Davies kicks the goal. Well done, young man. Just 20 years of age, start in the VFL for the Suns last year. Got an opportunity, Brad, in round 23 last year.
Yeah.
And now doesn't look like losing his spot at the moment. Margin back to 10 points. Melbourne 6-1-37. Gold Coast 4-3-27. That is all on the Robot Building Supply scoreboard.
Yeah, it was a horrible kick by Viney out of defensive 50 into the middle of the ground on his wrong side. He shouldn't have called for the footy.
I think Viney was silly enough to give it to him. That was the problem.
Oliver, yeah.
And he wasn't. Sorry, Oliver. He wasn't in balance here. He wasn't on his non-dominant side, as you say, Ox. He just threw it on the boot willy-nilly, hoping it was going to get somewhere. Just the 4 disposals for Alex Davies. But look, if you're a smallish forward, you're only going to see it 10 or 12 times in a game, and you need to hit the scoreboard 2 or 3 times, so he's on target.
So Tuke Miller, who had 17 touches in the first quarter, we did do a little bit of research, Shane, and the leading ever in a quarter was
19, Marcus Ashcroft.
Choppers.
Well, he's only got 18 now, so he's been tightened up a bit. The D's under a little bit of pressure as the Gold Coast get it from the centre square. They get it inside 50. Beautifully done. They're going to go one way. They're going to go the other. This is unbelievable, and Noah Anderson has evaded everything and has kicked what you would say is a wonderful goal within 20 seconds of the ball being bounced, and that's the 5th for the Gold Coast Suns. They're 5-3-33. The D's, who got out to a 16-point margin, a 6-1-37, the margin back to 4 points, Brett Hardy.
Oh, that's the play of the day, Ox, you're right, because Holly Farmer, Marby old child. Did you see that tap out, Shane? It went straight to Noah Anderson, who kicked the ball down the ground, followed it up, somehow it ended up in his head, and he had the little step just to elude the oncoming Demon defender, and then you've got to finish. That was a great bit of play.
Ox just mentioned Melbourne got out to a 16-point lead. This is exactly the response the Gold Coast needed, because once you start getting behind by 4, 5, 6 goals, it can very quickly blow out.
Oh, it can, and Melbourne now have to pull their socks up because they've got some.
Well, you know what it is. It's when Max Gawn goes in the middle that Melbourne is struggling.
Yeah, exactly. Luke Jackson's been the dominant goal again.
Bounce back in the middle. That was a massive leap from Mabior Chol. Anderson fumbled, managed to knock it clear of the pack. Fiorini, a high kick under the Gold Coast night sky. Casbolt was always behind Stephen May. And the former Gold Coaster turned Demon takes the mark in his defensive 50. It's a dangerous kick. It's just going to sit up though for Joel Smith. He'll send it up towards centre wing. Charging in from the side. Will Powell did well. Knocked it to a teammate in Anderson. Back to Powell. Powell tackled.
He's in
threw
trouble,
it away.
Brayshaw might be in stride.
He's down for the count.
Yeah, he's in the hands of the trainers. He's at least back on his feet.
He's winded.
Yeah, it was a massive clash with Will Powell as the D's work it up the broadcast wing. Brayshaw still on the ground. Brown, it's going to come out to Brayshaw now against the boundary line. Kicks on the right. Good spoil from behind. Comes in the end from Charlie Ballard and out of bounds. Melbourne, though, still into attack across right half forward. It's the Demons 6-1-37, leading the Suns 5-3-33. Robot Building Supply scoreboard.
Well, you're right, Ox. I wanted Mabior Chol in the ruck, and he's gone there, and you wanted Luke Jackson on the ball and Maxi Gawn to go forward, and I think that's what Melbourne need to do right here.
Yep, he seems to be the one with all the legs, is Luke Jackson. As the Gold Coast Suns bring it out, Holman, he wants to keep it in. Good work. Good work there by Bowie. And Bowie says, yeah, nice one, Holman. And the umpire's just settling Holman and Bowie down.
Brayshaw's gone off. He's taken the helmet off, but it's nothing to do with his head.
Trent Rivers has to come off too because he's hurt his knee.
It doesn't look
so
good.
We'll keep an eye on that one as well. So a couple of wounded players here for the Demons. Good work by Jackson. Wins the tap down again. There's Oliver. He's on top of the footy. Can't find it. There's Alex Neil-Bullen. Wraps up his opponent, and that being Fiorini, and will have a ball up on centre wing.
Let's quickly go around the grounds, check a score in Adelaide, where it's half-time between the Power and Hawks. Hawthorn leading Port Adelaide 8-4, 52 to the Power 3-6-24. Back here at Metricon Stadium, the Suns from the boundary throw-in. Anderson a handball, got it to Ainsworth. Inside forward 50, foot race on here. Sexton, Smith, Sexton. Well, I thought Smith tried to soccer it toward the boundary line. There wasn't a lot of intent to keep it inside the field of play, but disguised it enough, and a throw in 25 around from goal for the Suns.
Brayshaw just came off in front of us, took the helmet off, just have a bit of a spell, get his breath back. Then Rivers came to the interchange bench. He's had to go straight back on, minus the helmet. So that's why you probably won't be able to see him if you're listening with the sound down at home.
Ball thrown in. Jackson, the tap. Rivers dives on top of it. Gee, it must have been quick if he wasn't even able to put the helmet back on.
He didn't have a chance.
Just watching the trainer hold it at the moment.
Just Jaden Hunt has not had a touch yet.
No, he's been very quiet.
Ball thrown up once more. 48 metres out from goal for the Suns. Sexton wrapped up by Brayshaw. Then it spills out. And the mark is taken by Ainsworth. And that's come off the boot of Braden Fiorini, who off his step just put boot to ball. Saw Ben Ainsworth charging at him, and now Ainsworth on a 45-degree angle, 35 out, Brad, can give the Suns back the lead midway through the second quarter.
Good to see Simon Goodwin's listening to the 3AW call because he's switched Luke Jackson straight onto the ball there. He won the tap out, laid the tackle, but still the Gold Coast Suns come up with it.
They're working harder. They're working harder than Melbourne at the moment.
3AW is football and the choice for the AFL Coaches Association, apparently. There's now Ben Ainsworth just pushes it.
Got to kick through it, young fella.
To the left, and an opportunity goes begging for the Gold Coast. 5-4-30 for the Suns. Melbourne 6-1-37. 3AW Saturday night footy. That's all with thanks to Macca's.
So Stephen May, he'll do the kicking duties for the Demons. Up towards Tommy McDonald. Didn't get him. The ball's going to hit the ground. Luke Jackson and Choi, they're at each other. Comes across. Viney, he's a bulldog. Went in and got it. Good pressure here by the Suns. There's Oliver. Fell over. Gave it to McDonald. Smothered because he kicked it into Harms. There's his number sake there in Brandon Ellis. He got it. Drove it up towards half forward. Good work there by Tomlinson. He was able to intercept and take a nice mark.
Good to mark the second bite outside the line.
He's been beaten a few times tonight, and he goes long up the line. He'll play safe up towards McDonald. Comes down to Viney. Slams onto his boot. Poor kick. And that's Jack's problem. Just not thinking when he's getting rid of the footy, and now Swallow for the Suns.
He's got a few teammates,
Ox. Settle it down, yeah.
They're just throwing the ball on the boot, just trying to clear the area.
It's like panic, but it's not.
They're better than that.
Swallow, one of only 3 inaugural Suns still at the Gold Coast. Sam Day and Rory Thompson, the other 2, neither of whom is playing tonight. Holman now, his kick just out in front of Sexton, pitches before the boundary line. And another throw-in. 6-1-37 Melbourne, Suns 5-4-34.
Yeah, 2 options out there showing they split the middle. Just missed them both. So they're going all right though, the Suns. You've got to admire them. As I said, they'll be dangerous here at this ground for the majority of the year.
Between wing and half forward for the Gold Coast Suns. Jackson goes up in the rough, punched it down. Atkins able to rove, steps around Keziah Pickett. Now launches up toward left half forward. 3-on-3 contest. At the back, Tomlinson. He'll be able to mop up. Holman might run him down though. Holman slipped over. Well done, Tomlinson. Kicks around his body toward half back, but took Miller. Strong mark, held his ground in front of James Jordan. Will send it back to the hot spot now. Going up Davies. Lurking behind Bowie. Might have been taken high, he was.
Oh, that was a delayed free kick. I think he got a little bit of a brush. I think he milked it, but we'll wait and see.
So the goal was kicked after the free kick, and Jake Bowie will get the free between the goal and behind post. Melbourne 37 leading the Suns 34.
He plays on. Let's just have a look at the replay. He was taken high. Don't think it was as bad as what it looked, though. He did milk it, you're right, Bradley. There's James Jordan for the D's. He dived on top of it. Rao got on top of him. Ball bumbling around. Max Gorn just did the old baseball tap. It was like a volleyball tap, I should say. And over the boundary line it goes.
A bunt.
A bunt indeed. And we'll have a throw in right on centre wing. The Robot Building Supply scoreboard. Melbourne 6-1-37. Gold Coast 5-4-34. And Trent Rivers looks like he might be right to go.
Yeah, just for Pilot Medical, Ox just still looks a little bit proppy on that knee.
Well, let's hope for Demons fans that he's right. There's Petrarca. Got it out. Look for Sparrow. Sparrow wraps up Miller. Miller's got his own footy at times. He drives it up towards half forward. Good defence there by Tomlinson, who's really picked up Bowie. Gets around one. Gives it on to Hunt, who's been very quiet. Shocking kick. And Marbiel Child cuts it off. Right on centre wing.
So the former Tiger turned Sun, unrestricted free agent, sold the dummy on Christian Petrarca. That's no easy feat. Sends it toward full forward, over the back, as you say, Brad. Chance for Sharp, surely being held by Langdon. Umpire lets it go. Still inside the field of play, and then Tomlinson rushes it over. I reckon Langdon was lucky to get away with that. Just arms around the guts there, Brad.
Yeah, Cardinals in too, as you said. If you're a defender, don't let the ball get over the back. Flat hands, bring it forward.
Stephen May to bring it back into play. 37 plays 35. Melbourne lead.
Stephen May, all he does every time at the moment is goes long. They haven't got a short option, which they need to be less predictable. Brayshaw, helmet back on, which is good news for him. Comes out towards Gawn, picks it up, gives it to Langdon. We know he can run. Then back to Gawn. He'd rather give it to the Ruckman. The Ruckman goes long down the line. Good work there by Harms. He got there late and he found the boundary line. And almost at half forward here for the Demons. We'll have a throw in. It's 7 minutes 26 left.
I reckon Langdon's been identified by Stuart Dew as a bit of a worry. So he's got young Flanders running with him. He's doing a terrific job, because I'm looking at the ball magnet here, and he's only had half a dozen disposals tonight.
Viney, good at ground level to Sparrow. Back to Harms. Harms then looks inside. It's a floater. Free kick's going to be paid, and it's downfield, and it's Brown. So Brown was held only 15 metres out, and I reckon it was against Collins. We'll have a look at it. It is. So it's against Sam Collins. He looks guilty.
Interesting, Caleb Graham just came over to him then, Brad, Sam Collins, and said, just stop it. Stop arguing.
Don't argue.
Just stop.
Good leadership. Really good leadership. So Brown, he's got 4 for the year, 1 tonight. He's a very, very straight kick for goal. His run-up is unique. He's got the support of the crowd, as you can hear. Comes in, that 60-metre run-up, and straight through the middle for the Demons. He's got 2. So the D's move 8 points in front. They're 7-1-43. Gold Coast, who have been very, very resolute. They're 5-5-35. All that on the Robot Building Supply scoreboard. Brad Hardy doing all the specials tonight for 3AW.
Yeah, looking forward to it, and no doubt he was certainly impeded there. Wrapped his arms around him, he threw his arms up like he was drowning in the ocean, just to make sure the umpire saw it, and it was the correct call. And Benny Brown is a dead-eye dick, as you said, Ox. Just looking at a couple of the numbers. Tuke Miller heading all comers with 21. Oliver having a nice night, 17. Petrarca, 15. Then back to Noah Anderson on 14.
Plugger would have kicked 4,000. If he was playing today, he'd be kicking 4,000.
Yeah, and poor defenders, when I say poor luck defenders like Stephen Silvani and Bud Frawley, Rick Kennedy, they'd all be out of the game.
Yep.
28 points the lead to Hawthorn at half-time in Adelaide against Port. Margin here at Metricon Stadium, 8 points in favour of the reigning premiers over the Gold Coast. 43 plays 35, bounces recalled. Umpire Lenny Glufsis will throw it up in the middle of Metricon Stadium. Witts palmed it straight to Max Gawn. Gets a grubber of a kick away toward half forward. Viney tries to run onto the footy. Knocked it to Neil Bullen. He scrubs the kick again toward half forward. Diving on top of it, Fritsch. Flicked the handball up. Swallow couldn't take it cleanly. Viney steals it away. Smart little handball over the top. Wanted Petrarca. Bounce of the ball evaded him. Atkins stole it away. Little chip into the centre of the ground. Miller draws a man. Handball back into traffic. Went back to Atkins. Wasn't the right result. Atkins, though, smart. Slapped it forward. Chance now for Fiorini. Overran the footy. Melbourne defensively work well. Harms. Handball to Brayshaw. Runs up towards centre wing now, the helmeted one. And sends it to right half forward where Jackson takes the mark. Melbourne by 8 points. 43 plays 35. He's got Brayshaw out wide, ignores that, sends it toward the hotspot. Caleb Graham over the back, won it down to Sexton, clears defensive 50. Casbolt and now Holman kicks off centre half back.
He does. Bowie needs to hold him up. He's Ainsworth. They're running though. Oh, not a good handball because Pickett was there. He cut off Rowell. Now Rivers back to Bowie. They're in the middle of the ground. Things are going to open up to Petrarca. He goes long, brings it inside 50 now. Up they fly. Jared Witts back. Good defensive grab by the ruckman, and that's what you got to do as the ruckman is sit in the hole and put your body on the line.
A couple of clumsy errors by the Suns, one from Miller. And
trying to do too much.
Yeah, just do the simple things.
They go short.
Properly.
Swallow, he's got it in defensive 50 now, and he'll clear for the Gold Coast Suns.
So the former skipper relinquished his co-captaincy this year alongside Jared Witts. Goes out to Jeremy Sharp. Keeps on that outer or broad beach side of the ground. Oh, Marby or Chol takes a massive fly. Couldn't bring the mark down, didn't matter. Holman over the top to Ainsworth. 40 from home to the goal square. Mark taken by Lukosius. Just outside the goal square, Jack Lukosius. So the umpire will head him back on the angle and make it fairly acute. Jack Lukosius, though, to come in and once again make it a 2-point ball game. But that was a fantastic leap from big Marby or Chol.
He is just growing by the second in regards to confidence. He's tap work, he's marking or near marking.
Lukosius 1-2 last week, comes in, kicks the goal, sends it out of Metricon Stadium, and with that, the margin back to just 2 points as we close in on half-time. The Gold Coast Suns 6-5-41, Melbourne 7-1-43. Jack Lukosius, Brad, with his first goal of the night.
Yeah, class act. Again, one of the boys who they will lock up and make sure he stays on the coast, along with Rankin and King and Rowell and Anderson, which is good.
And they seem a really dedicated group, don't they?
Yeah, well, it's terrific, and that's what you need. And they've all got youth on their side. Not only talent, they've got youth on their side, so they can be together for 4 or 5 years. But Marby or Joel, what about him? He's just...
Yeah, he got up, didn't he? And he got up on a bloke who normally gets up on you, which is Joel Smith. Son of a gun who could jump. So the coach hasn't had a lot tonight. He's only had the 2 touches. But if you're going to kick goals, that's pretty important.
Helps the scoreboard.
Back in the middle now, 2 points is the margin. 4.5 minutes left on the clock for the half. Up they go, Big Maxi got it down. What's going to happen here? Good work. Picked up there by Anderson. Now Gawn, wrapped up in the tackle, just dropped it. The umpire said that's okay. Now Rowell. He gets around 1 tackle, then drives it towards 50. Up they fly. Good work by Hunt. Got it away. Rivers at ground level. Got to pick it up. He looks a bit ginger on that foot. Will the ball stay in towards Bowie? Good mark. And Bowie's had a pretty good evening. Coming in for number 16. Goes short to Viney. Defensive 50. So Melbourne trying to work their way through, which is a pretty dour defence at the moment, the Gold Coast. Well, Tomlinson up the middle to the helmet.
Need to change direction as much as possible. Like, so if a ball comes in one way, you haven't got control of it. So go out the other direction, and that's what they're doing here.
Tomlinson to Pickett. Oh, he blind turned himself. He got around. He went outside to Brown, who dropped a sitter. And over the boundary line it goes, and he puts up his hand and he says sorry. And Collins should worry about playing footy rather than giving him a mouthful.
Let him know about it.
He did. He did. He's got 2 on him, though.
Take your chances when you can.
All right. Now Gawn.
Don't get angry, get even.
Gawn and Witts. Witts with the strength. Pushes it down. Rowell trying to bulldoze his way through. And Alex Neil-Bullen and Anderson also had their hands on it. He said, no, not today.
I'm tipping if Brown kicks another one, it'll be in his face.
He will be. You know, he's a pretty quiet sort of bloke, though. He's not that type of player.
Just like you?
Yeah, very calm and respectful.
Not emotional.
There's Davies wrapped up in a tackler. Petrarca said, oh, I'll get you. And he did. And he drove it inside 50. Where's Brown? He's going to set himself. But Jackson over the top. And the D's get a lazy goal, and he's got 2. And I reckon that's a Sheen Panel service goal of the day. Oh, Luke Jackson's doing everything, Bradley. The D's 8-1-49, Gold Coast 6-5-41 on the Robot Building Supply scoreboard.
Fortunately, the rain is circling, but it hasn't been raining.
No.
But as we say, in these sort of slippery conditions, defenders, you must keep the ball coming to the front. You can ill afford to go up one-handed and expect to be able to control the football.
He's having a night, though, Jackson.
Yeah. I think it was...
there was Tomlinson, there was Collins, and there was McDonald in their play. And the one coming over the top.
The tallest man on the ground just about rows it.
Yep.
It's just not good enough. If you're going to be third man up, Shane, you've got to kill it. Kill it to the boundary or just kill it into the turf and give your little blokes a chance to square up.
So back out to 8
Got a good
in
haircut
favour of the Demons.
Got a beautiful haircut.
Been accurate tonight, Melbourne. 8-1 to the Suns, 6-5. Late stages of this second quarter. It'll be a long one. Plenty of goals scored. Melbourne make it another one here. Petrarca, handball to Jackson, handball to Oliver, runs to 49 out. Won't have the carry. Lands in the left forward pocket. Gawn couldn't mark. Caleb Graham's there. He's tackled. The umpire says, I'll toss it up. Left forward pocket for Melbourne. Golf course end of Metricon Stadium.
I don't think it'll be as long as the last quarter last night at the Sydney Cricket Ground.
What was that? 55 minutes, I think, in the end. Gawn sharks the footy. Kicks across the face. Alice really should have marked.
61 minutes and 13 seconds, I think it was.
It's a long quarter. Another boundary throw in this time. Right forward pocket for Melbourne. Still into attack. But an enjoyable contest so far. Fair to say not a big crowd in a Metricon Stadium tonight. Gawn wins the tap once more. Miller certainly quieter in this second quarter. Got a kick out of defensive 50. Brayshaw smacks it over, and this time it'll be tossed in 75 around from goal for Melbourne. Coming up at half-time, we'll recap a big day of footy. We'll hear from both Craig McRae and Ben Rutten as well. But 2.5 minutes remaining in the half here with the Demons leading by 8 points.
Jackson down again. Good work there by Anderson, crumbing his work up towards centre half forward. Ball hits the ground. They've got numbers everywhere here, the Gold Coast Suns. You've just got to pick it up. Oh, May was too strong. He got it out to Jordan. Now to Rivers, and that really reliable back line has stood up. And Petrarca's marked on centre wing. So a smallish crowd in at Metricon. Petrarca, long, up towards Gawn, and also Brown. They fly against each other. Wasn't really well worked out. There's Jordan to Petrarca. Oh, gets through traffic. 1-2, beautiful kick. Oh, he hit McDonald on the chest, and he's marked 12 metres out directly in front. Petrarca is a jet, Brad Hardy.
He is, but that's why team defence doesn't work against him, because he makes the play.
Yep.
You've really got to have somebody prepared to sacrifice their own game. Go back to the Shane Hurd days, the Mickey Gayfer days, and just wear him like a glove and make sure you put yourself between him and the goal face. So if he's heading towards his goal, he's going to run into you first. He's just picking through any way he likes.
Tommy McDonald from directly in front hasn't kicked a goal in 2022, but he has now. And the Demons have got their 9th. Their 9-1, 55. Beautiful kicking, as Shane McGuinness said just before. Gold Coast 6-5, 41. The margin 14 points on the Robot Building Supplies scoreboard. That's a real kick in the guts in time on that one, Brad Hardy.
Yeah, you don't want to concede goals in red time, but just watch this. As the ball comes in, he's followed up his own kick. Here he comes. Watch, everybody peels away from him. Everyone goes, put a hand out. You know, it's toilet paper stuff. You just run straight through it like crepe paper. You've got to really get on him and give him something to think about.
See how far Miller was from him when the ball hit?
Correct.
He was standing out wide, hoping it'd come out.
Out to him, yeah.
It was Russian roulette, and he paid the price.
And he'll lose because he's too skillful.
You just feel half-time can't come soon enough now for the Gold Coast Suns. But in the next 75 seconds, they can ill afford to concede one, the home side. Jackson wins the tap against Witts. They might concede one. Oliver kicks the left half forward. Ellis. Spargo from the side. Little soccer off the ground. Comes from Sharp. He's taken out of bounds by Langdon. I would have thought somewhat illegally as well. And now there's a bit of push and shove. Anderson and Spargo. Viney interjects. Lemons with a bit to say to Spargo. Anderson still going.
He's a bit frustrated there, Langdon, because he's getting attention that they should be given to Petrarca. You know, they're playing close.
Lemons got a free kick in the end against Langdon, who sends it to the wing. Witts, 1-2, completes the mark just above the grass. Can they get a late one, the Gold Coast Suns? 50 seconds remaining in the half. Witts sends it toward right half forward. Chol comes charging through. Couldn't complete the mark. Knocked it down to Davies. Had it stolen away by Clayton Oliver. Loops the handball across. Petrarca slipped out of his grasp. Off a step though, high up and under kick. Swallow underneath it. McDonald there as well for Melbourne. McDonald's then tackled by Rao. How does the umpire see it? He's going to pull it up right half forward for the Gold Coast Suns.
Probably a chance here for one score. Could be a chance. So 28 seconds left. Oh, Rao got it too. Might be for the Gold Coast. Brayshaw drops the sitter. Good smother there by Davies. Now Tomlinson picks it up for the D's. Goes in short and finds Petrarca with a messy kick. The D's will run the clock down with 14 seconds to go. Bowie, who's had plenty, now to Langdon. And they don't like him because he started the last fight with dumping the player after he went through. To Brayshaw, only just got the 15.
Tell you what, Brox, there's an upset brewing at the Adelaide Oval.
Well, we'll come to that in a moment because at half-time here at Metricon, Brad Hardy, Gold Coast been brave, 6-5-41. And the D's, 9-1-55 in a very entertaining game of footy.
That it has been, Ox. 9-1-55 Melbourne, leading the Gold Coast Suns 6-5-41. The margin was 4 points at quarter time. It stands at 14 at the main break. For Melbourne, Luke Jackson has 2. So too Ben Brown. Singles to Viney, Gawn, Oliver, McDonald and Keziah Pickett. While for the Gold Coast Suns, all individual goal kickers. Chol, Lukosius, Davies, Anderson, Sharp and Casbolt. As Brad mentioned, an upset brewing at the Adelaide Oval. 7 minutes into the third quarter there, Hawthorn, under the tutelage of Sam Mitchell for just the second time, 9-4-58, leading last year's preliminary finalists Port Adelaide 4-7-31. Tell you what, I don't know if the story would so much be Hawthorn as it might be Port Adelaide should the Hawks be triumphant at the Adelaide Oval. But as it stands at the moment, we've got the close one on this Saturday night. Melbourne by 14 points at halftime. Other side of the break, we'll recap the first half here on the Gold Coast and also what has been a massive Saturday so far of round 2 footy. With thanks to Maccas, this is 3AW Saturday Night Football.
Had any plans for Sunday? Put them on hold.
Back to Soldo, to Bolton for the first goal of the night. Streams in and hammers it home.
From 2 p.m. tomorrow, it's the Tigers up against the Giants in our match of the day.
Bolton's going to run into an open goal here, puts the Jets on, kicks it. Cracking goal from Shea Bolton. He's got 3 and that was quick.
For Macca's 3AW is football.
It's autumn racing and it's time to play at your local. For all races at Rosehill and Mornington this Saturday, place a tote win bet in venue or on course with the Tab app. And if you don't win but run first half of the field, get a bonus bet back up to $50. Yep, that's first half of the field at 2 tracks this Saturday, but only at your local. Tab. Long may we play.
Excludes WA residents. First online tote win bet only. T&Cs at website. Gamble responsibly. Call Gamblers Help 1-800-858-858.
Month after month of renovations. Fistful after fistful of your hard earned. That's what it took to get your dream home just right. 7.4 seconds? Approximately how long it took for the kids to start wrecking the place once you moved in. Fix imperfections instantly with Earl's Wax Sticks from Timbermate Group. Wax touch-up crayons perfect for quick repairs to scratched or damaged timber, laminate and melamine, with colours to suit any finish. Earl's Wax Sticks Wax Touch-Up Crayons. Available at Bunnings Warehouse and leading hardware stores.
ROBOT, Robot Building Supplies.
The Man Cave, shed, garage, sports room, home office, whatever you want to call it, Robot Building Supplies has everything to renovate or build it.
Robot's got it.
Metal roofing, cladding, wall panelling.
Robot's got it.
Structural steel, timber, insulation.
Robot's got it.
With 24-hour delivery, get it done fast with Robot Building Supplies. Notting Hill, Sunshine, Preston, Dramana, Pakenham, Coldstream and Darnham. RobotBuildingSupplies.com.au.
ROBOT, Robot Building Supplies.
If you're not filling up with Shell, you're missing out. Fill up with 30 litres or more of Shell fuels and you'll win a prize. Grab your receipt, enter your details at shell.com.au/winning and a prize is yours instantly. Remember, fill up with 30 litres or more of Shell fuels and you'll win a prize. Grab your receipt, enter your details at shell.com.au/winning and a prize is yours instantly. Only at Shell till March 30. Everyone wins. T's and C's apply.
All right, lads, look, it's been a bloody soft first half. Johnson, mate, you're asleep out there. Stand up straight. Billy, you're looking absolutely stretched. Hairline, where's the staying power? Stop going backwards.
Treating common men's health problems shouldn't be hard. Pilot connects men in Australia with real doctors online for best-in-class treatments for common health issues. For easy, safe and confidential healthcare from the comfort of home, visit pilot.com.au today. Pilot, level up your health.
And Pecker, try making it to the siren this time.
Progress has been made to connect Australia's healthcare system. Now everyone can choose to get an electronic prescription, have a consultation with a doctor from home, and use My Health Record to view your COVID-19 dashboard, including boosters and test results. And there's more to come, connecting Australia to a healthier future and you to better healthcare. Find out more at digitalhealth.gov.au.
Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra. Spoken by Dr. Andrew Rochford.
3AW footy highlights.
Petrarca came charging through, tackled, now knocked it on to Viney.
Holding the ball.
I reckon that was going to be my best call ever, Brad, and you ruined it. Jack Viney gets the goal.
Hits the ground, Oliver snaps onto his boot on the left. Oh, that's a wonderful goal! What a goal that is!
Chance now for McDonald. Handball to Kasai Pickett. Right forward pocket. Kicks as he's pushed. And that's outstanding.
They're going to go one way. They're going to go the other. This is unbelievable. And Noah Anderson has evaded everything and has kicked a wonderful goal. Tracker. Oh, gets through traffic. 1-2. Beautiful kick. Oh, he hit McDonald on the chest. And he's marked 12 metres out directly in front. Tommy McDonald from directly in front hasn't kicked a goal in 2022, but he has now. And the Demons have got their ninth.
Half-time on a warm night here at the Metricon Stadium on the Gold Coast. Melbourne 9-1-55, leading the Gold Coast Suns 6-5-41 in the other game tonight being played at the Adelaide Oval. Hawthorn currently leading Port Adelaide midway through the third quarter. The Hawks 9-4-58 to Port Adelaide 5-8-38. We'll discuss the earlier matches in just a moment. But Brad, first give us your thoughts on that opening half and whether or not the Gold Coast Suns are going to be able to stay with Melbourne in the second.
Oh, it's terrific, Shane. I really enjoyed it because both teams are applying themselves really well, particularly the Gold Coast Suns coming in as the overwhelming underdogs, and they've really put it in effort. It's been terrific to watch by them, but I'm with you. I'm just not sure they can sustain it for full quarters, let alone 4 quarters. And that's where they're just getting themselves in a little bit of a knot. Jackson's been an absolute star. He's turned the game for Melbourne in that first quarter when the momentum was going the other way. The cream rises to the top. Ox, you've got Petrarca and Oliver in particular. They're getting their hands on the footy. They're very explosive away from contested positions and just setting up everyone else going down the ground. Tuke Miller started well, but he was locked down a little bit in that second quarter.
Had the 6 touches,
which was good. Anderson, Ellis, Rao started well, but he's just got to sit back at the end of this, not knocking the kiddies of beauty. Have a look at the way Petrarca plays because that's what he needs to do. Him and Oliver were going head to head, and it was going okay. But all of a sudden, Oliver got on top of him, and Rao just found it a little bit hard to get his hands on the footy.
One player who's had to step up is Bowie, and I know he's only young, but for him to be doing the Christian Salem role, he's the go-to player in there because Langdon's been held.
Yep.
So Bowie becomes that player that's setting it up, and he's a good decision maker for a kid who's played a dozen games of footy or whatever he's played. He makes very, very good decisions coming off half-back.
This is what confuses me about coaches because, okay, you can't go with everybody. Hard tags are out the gate. We know that. But they've put time, the Stuart Junior, they've put time into Langdon.
Yep.
You know, I mean, yeah, he's a wonderful runner and he does help, but surely you stop the prime movers, the prime movers first.
Well, maybe they
Oliver,
think they can't.
Petrarca.
Maybe they think they can't stop them. They're just too good at what they do.
Well, I don't think you concede. I think you try and say, okay, if we can keep them to, sort of 20s, 25 in the game, that's as far as you want to concede.
Yep.
I would have thought.
Yep.
But they're on track, these two boys, to be into the 30s, and that simply isn't good enough. You can't allow players of that quality to get it 30 plus times because they will eat you up. They're not, dynamite at the moment. They're 14 points in front. It's only a couple of kicks, but just the nature of the game at the moment, it's going to be very hard for the Gold Coast Suns to get back into that unless they stop that drive from Petrarca and Oliver.
I mentioned two other games earlier today. One of those was Collingwood over Adelaide, 15-10-100, defeating the Crows 8-10-58. One of the biggest stories to emanate out of this match was the fact that there was a false alarm at the MCG and they had to evacuate the MCG, or so the patrons thought, and then they were told that they didn't have to evacuate, and it was apparently a faulty sprinkler.
Well, Ox and I are familiar with this because when the opposition gets a run on, you used to be able to start a fight. You can't do that anymore, so now you start a fire.
So it didn't work out for Adelaide, if that's actually the case, Brad, but this is Collingwood's best start to a season. The first time they've gone 2-0 after 2 rounds since 2013. Here's some of what Craig McRae had to say after the match.
Oh, look, I just spoke to the players about, particularly before the game, about repeating behaviours. We want to be consistent around those things. So that was the message at the start of the game, and then at the end of the game, starting to get some patterns of the way we want to play. So, the outcome's really pleasing. We're not going to shy away from that. We're really happy with the way that the first 2 weeks have progressed for us.
Tell you what, if they're doing what he wants and the outcome is coming from it, that's exciting for Collingwood fans.
Oh, 100%. Look, I just hope he can break away from the shadow of Dimmer, because he spent a lot of time, he's been in a lot of places, but he spent a lot of time at Richmond when they were successful.
Yep.
And I think it's easy to identify the style of football that he is portraying as opposed to what Bucks was doing. Bucks slow around the outside, backwards, sideways.
Where the
McRae wants to go forward.
Wants
to go forward. That was Richmond. And I hope he shakes it as he goes. But as you say, you condition the mind and the brain, and that'll work for you. And their first quarter and a half last week in their opening game was fantastic, and they emulated it again today. And they've got a couple of bright lights on the horizon.
Well, it's a good game next week when they come up against the Pussycats.
Yeah.
So that'll test them out because Geelong will be. They won't be happy with their performance.
They'll be smarting.
They'll be dirty with their performance against the Sydney Swans.
That'll be our match for broadcast next Saturday night as well from the MCG. The other match was over in Docklands at Marvel Stadium, and a disappointing result for the Bombers, going down to Brisbane by 22 points. Many Essendon fans really thought that the Bombers would bounce back this year, or almost a foregone conclusion that they would be playing finals. Well, you just wonder if some of the Bombers players were starting to drink their own bathwater. Here's some of what Ben Rutten, the Essendon coach, had to say after the match.
We just need to keep getting better at the attention to detail to little parts of our game. Is just it's just so important. And that's part of our growth, and the journey we're on is about really valuing all those little parts of the game because they do add up over the course of the game, and especially when you're against high quality opposition, which we were tonight.
I think there'd be some concern. I know they played a much better team today in Brisbane, but there'd be some concern amongst Bombers fans, and I'd say Bomber High.
No, it's his style. It's his style, and they're getting beaten in slabs of footy.
Yeah.
So they might have patches where maybe 2 or 3 goals at a time, but then having 5 or 6 kicked against them, and that's a real concern that they can't break the momentum.
They sort of strike me like the Adelaide Crows in the 90s and West Coast Eagles in the 90s. They've got 14 ruck rover tops, and that's hurting them because what it's doing with Rutten, it's confusing everybody because they've got to shift them around to try and fit them all in, and it's stats and bloody stats. And it's okay to be getting it 30 and 35 times. It's what you do with it. Do you create another 15 or 20 with that, or do you butcher it and turn it over? And at the moment, Essendon aren't very good at that.
Would you have had them in your top 8, Brad, on expectation?
I put them in there, the bottom end of the 8, along with a half a dozen teams. If you had a really good year, you could finish 7th. If you don't get it right, you could finish 14th.
I didn't have them there. I had them outside.
You hate Essendon.
No, you're right.
Hate
but no, I don't hate them, but I always
test them.
I always thought their forward line and these players that you're talking about, Cox and so forth, they're still 2 or 3 years away.
Yeah.
So, and are you going to get 100? Are you going to get 50 goals out of Stringer? Probably not. So I was always concerned about their ability to their forward line and also to stop fast-running sides.
It's only early, but Dyson Hepball is a beauty, but he's looks like he's just wavering a little bit at the moment. A lot of the plans of the coaches these days, we saw Josh Kennedy for Sydney in the back half last night. We saw they tried Zorko at half back for Brisbane the week before. They've got to stop that.
Well, they've got the D's next week.
If they're not good enough to be in the midfield, you have to rethink.
Essendon fans, Collingwood fans, you can have your say with Brad Hardy after 11 o'clock on Footy Nightline, and of course there'll be plenty of discussion on Sunday Sport and Sunday Football tomorrow afternoon. Before we get to the news headlines, big story developing in Adelaide. Hawthorn is now double the score of Port Adelaide.
Oh, wow.
The Hawks 12-4, 76 to Port Adelaide 5-8, 38. Let's remember, the Hawks are in the first year of a rebuild. Port Adelaide are preliminary finalists of last year. That's a big story developing. But we've got the close one here at Metricon Stadium on the Gold Coast, where the Demons lead the Gold Coast Suns by 14 points at halftime, 9-1-55 to the Suns, 6-5-41. Stay with us, second half coming up. Right now, though, let's get a check of the latest news headlines on this Saturday night. It's a very good evening to Alex Riddell.
Thanks, guys. Making news this evening. Telstra 000 call takers say they're being forced to listen to Victorians die over the phone because it's taking too long to transfer them to emergency services. The Victorian government is blaming the pressures of the pandemic for the delays. The MCC has apologised to footy fans and to Collingwood and Adelaide after the emergency evacuation system was triggered at the MCG. Play was stopped and patrons asked to leave the ground. A small fire at a food outlet was quickly brought under control. Play resumed after a 5-minute delay. Melbourne police have charged a 24-year-old man with 52 Hoona and drug-related offences. A search of his home allegedly found a small amount of methamphetamine, MDMA and heroin, along with knuckle dusters and a laser pointer. Long-time Foo Fighters drummer Taylor Hawkins has died aged 50. A cause of death has not been released. And Richmond co-captain Dylan Grimes has been ruled out of tomorrow's game against the Giants after pulling up sore following today's captain's run. 22-year-old Ben Miller will come into the side. More news after football.
Aussies have always made stuff. And some of our best work happens in our own backyard.
Oh, nice.
Just like our growing defence industries, talented Aussies and private businesses working together to supply our defence force, at the same time creating thousands of local jobs. To get involved, search Defence Industries Careers. Our future, made in our own backyard. Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
Do you ever feel exposed? Protect your privacy with high-quality blinds, doors, shutters and awnings from me, Winston with a Y. See my full range at winston.com.au. That's Winston with a Y.
At Epworth, we want you to live your best life. That's why we're here for you for every health concern that life presents. When you choose Epworth for orthopaedic care, we believe your health is a joint venture. From diagnosis to treatment and rehabilitation, our orthopaedic specialists combine evidence-based clinical knowledge with more than 100 years of Epworth excellence. Epworth for you. Epworth for life. Ask your GP for a referral to an Epworth orthopaedic specialist in Melbourne or Geelong, or visit epworth.org.au.
After a decade of research, the new Spinalese mattress is finally here. One button controls the firmness. Firm, medium or softer, you choose. Order now at spinalese.com.au. Spinal EZE.
It's time to play, Australia. The AFL is back. And with Tab's Same Game Multi special, place a Same Game Multi with 3 or more legs, and if a selected number of legs fail, get a bonus bet back up to $50. Available on every AFL game played this Friday to Sunday. Check it out on the Tab app today. Tab, long may we play.
Excludes WA residents. Available online for Tab account customers only. Gamble responsibly. Call Gamblers Help 1-800-858-858.
Fill up with 30 litres or more of Shell fuels and you'll win a prize. Grab your receipt, enter your details at shell.com.au/winning and a prize is yours. Instantly. Till March 30. T's and C's apply. Shell V-Power. Proud supporter of 3AW football.
Sheet Panel Service.
If your car has been unexpectedly hit, don't let it be your inconvenience. You have full choice on who repairs your car. Contact Sheen Panel Service. They can assist with the entire repair process, provide an accident replacement vehicle at no cost, and offer a lifetime guarantee on all repairs. So, don't be taken for a ride. You have control. Call Sheen first on 1300 Repair. T's and C's apply.
Sheen Panel Service.
When these guys can't decide on dinner, I make our Macca's run easy with one single order. One McValue bundle, please.
Get tonight's dinner sorted at your local drive-thru with the McValue bundle for just $24.95. Available between 10:30am and midnight.
Progress has been made to connect Australia's healthcare system. Now everyone can choose to get an electronic prescription, have a consultation with a doctor from home, and use My Health Record to view your COVID-19 dashboard, including boosters and test results. And there's more to come, connecting Australia to a healthier future and you to better healthcare. Find out more at digitalhealth.gov.au.
Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra. Spoken by Dr. Andrew Rochford.
Throughout Australia, this is 3AW's coverage of the 2022 Toyota AFL Premiership season. For Macca's 3AW is football.
And welcome back, Saturday Night Football here on 3AW, brought to you by Macca's, and it is game on. The D's, they've been okay. They're 9-1-55. They just lead the Gold Coast Suns 6-5-41. But Brad Hardy, the story that is brewing is at Adelaide Oval, because Port Adelaide, who should be and were heavy favourites going in against the Hawks, who many predicted to finish on the bottom of the ladder, they are leading by 38 points. 6-8-44 Port Adelaide. The Hawks 13-4-82. And it is only a couple of minutes left of the third quarter. So game on there, and a chance here for the Gold Coast Suns to really make it uncomfortable for Melbourne.
Or they have to be in a similar position or closer at three-quarter time. So they're going to have a real throw up the stumps in that final quarter. I just said to Big Carl, the producer of Footy Nightline tonight, if you tip all of the outsiders in AFL and NRL in the first month, you generally do pretty good.
You do.
Well, let's see if the outsider tonight, the Gold Coast Suns, can fight back here, down by only 14 points against the reigning premiers. Third quarter, all with thanks to Shell Vpower. It's not a great bounce. Favoured Wits. He made the most of it too. Palmed it straight to Took Miller, who sends it long toward right half forward. The perfect centre clearance. Mark to Chol. Now to full forward over the back. Levi Casbolt.
Great start.
Absolutely superb. Reminiscent of almost Carlton on Thursday night, Brad, in that first quarter.
I don't understand why Evgeny would be bouncing the ball at the opening of the game, opening of the half. She can't get the height. Her last 4 or 5 bounces have been lucky to get over the head of the ruckman. Just throw it up.
What do you call her? Evgeny?
Yeah, Evgeny.
Didn't Evgeny Kafelnikov play tennis? As now Levi Casbolt kicks the goal. And the Gold Coast Suns back to within 8 points. Levi's got his second. And on the Shell V-Power scoreboard, the Gold Coast Suns are 7-5-47. Melbourne 9-1-55. In fairness to her, the bounce was still inside the larger of the centre circles. And if that's the case, it's not just her. The male umpires let it go as well. That's the rule.
No, I understand that, but it should be a minimum height. It's got to go above the players' heads.
Jack,
that would be nice, wouldn't it?
Jackson.
You're just angry because Gorney didn't get the tap.
Jackson has been a star in the ruck, but Marvio Chol has played like Polly Farmer when he's been in there.
Unbelievable.
He's marking the ball like Stephen Kernahan, and he's kicking it like Jason Dunstall.
And Levi Casbolt's done his job. He's had the 6 touches, the 5 marks, kicked a couple of goals and led up at the footy. Right, back in the middle now. Oh, great bounce. Up it goes. Beautifully done. Max Gawn got it on this occasion. Jumped on top of it. He got it out. Oliver just kicked it off the ground. Up towards Alex Neil-Bullen. Really good effort. Took Miller fell over. Petrarca off the ground. They're just playing metre footy. Good work. Out towards Bailey Fritsch. Oh, he was hit like a steam train from Swallow. It shouldn't have been a free kick. It was a wonderful tackle. And the umpire has said too high. Let's have a look at that one, Brad.
Yeah.
I thought it was good.
I'm with you. I thought it was good too.
He just hit him hard.
He threw the Buffon back.
Oh, there is a bit of a dent in Bailey Fritsch's Buffon. It is just off to the left. Been very quiet.
This is his quarter, though. He normally kicks a couple in these quarters, doesn't he?
He's a third quarter specialist. He kicked two in the third in the grand final.
2 last week.
And 2 last week as well. He comes in. The famous 31 for the Melbourne Footy Club. He pokes it towards goal, and it is dead-eye beautiful. And the D's bounce back with a quick one with a nice bounce out of the centre. And the margin's back to 14 points. 10-1-61 to 7-5-47. All that on the Shell V-Power scoreboard. Brad Hardy doing all the very specials tonight.
No free kick for mine.
Of course it wasn't a free kick. It was a beautiful tackle.
Yeah, I think he's come in at a 45-degree angle. Fritsch led with his head, go on the ground. I think the lack of noise of affirmation was more than the crowd there. But anyway, it's a goal.
Yeah, I think the fact that Bailey Fritsch did lead with his head and put his head straight into the turf.
Yeah. You know what they're doing? They are so protective of the head now, even if it looks like there was contact, they're going to call it.
Except when it's really Rioli.
Really Rioli and Ralph.
Well, see, I don't reckon that was a free.
It wasn't a free, it was 2 weeks.
We'll discuss that later on. No, it wasn't. You're allowed to fly for the mark.
61 plays 47. We digress. Margin back to 14 points here at Metricon Stadium. Gordon the tap this time against Witts. Petrarca ran in and out of trouble. Handballs forward. Viney can't get there, nor can Fritsch. Socket off the ground by Lemons. Middle of the ground. Nice mark. Jared Witts read it well. Gives the handball off to a runner. That was Lemons again. High up and under kick under the Gold Coast night sky. Back of the pack. Mabior Chol fumbled. Got it back. Turns on a dime. Kicks on the left. Misses.
He is Polly at the moment. He might be better than Polly. He might be better than Polly.
7-6-48. Melbourne 10-1-61. Tell you what, he was like twinkle toes in that little passage, Brad.
Nice little pirouette, as they say, Shane.
Bringing it back in is May for the D's. Up goes Gawn and Brown. They've done that a couple of times. Gee, Rouse strong. He got through. Gave it to his teammate there in Atkins, to Alice. Now back to Sam Collins. Puts it under his boot. Oh, came through and Rivers has been cleaned up. And the umpire says indiscriminately against Casbolt.
I don't mind that. I don't mind that.
No, you make him earn it.
You've got to think twice about being there next time.
Yeah, so good work there to Rivers by standing strong. Half back now for the D's. You go long and high. It's not a great kick. Making Max work for his pay tonight. Brandon Ellis good at ground level. Atkins again. They've done the 1-2 a couple of times. Here's Holman. Needs a kind bounce and got it. He's outside 50. Goes towards goal. There's Smith. Good work. Great contest. There's May as well. Wrapped up by Polly Joel.
He put the arm out.
And the umpire says to me, we'll have a ball up, and Joel.
He went for the don't argue.
He gave the look too, and the look, it was a nasty look. And what's the umpire found? He's just designating who's going up in the ruck. Gawn's there. There's May, missed the target. Gave it to Oliver though, who's getting really busy now. Gets out towards Brown and Collins cuts it off 60 from home.
So it's going to come forward again. Will he look for Mabior Chol? He'll try and square it. In toward the hot spot over the back. Jared Witts couldn't mark. Took Miller at ground level. Knocked it to his own advantage. Handball to Rao. Handball to Fiorini. Brings it back around his body on the left.
Great goal.
Unbelievable.
Magnifico from Braden Fiorini.
Hello.
Goal of the day for Sheen. Goal of the day for Sheen. Thank you very much. 8-6-54. Melbourne 10-1-61. That is all.
Shane, was that a goal of the day for Sheen?
That was on the Shell Superpower V scoreboard. We'll give it one more just to make sure. Thank you very much.
You know they specialise in Ferraris too, Shane. Being the Italian variety of Ferrari.
I didn't know you had a bit of Italian in you. You're still smarting from North Macedonia, knocking them out of the World Cup.
One of my very good mates, he's Italian, and he taught me Magnifico. I thought I'd work it in.
Who, Luca?
What's the bet? Braden Fiorini from like Broadmeadows or something. Where is he from? Greensborough. Maybe not the most Italian place going around, but never mind.
Back in the middle now, the margin. What is it, 7 points? It is a good game of footy here at Metricon. Tuke Miller doesn't get it. Oh, there goes Luke Jackson, picks up the footy. Davis wraps him up.
Holding the ball.
And the umpire says, beautifully done, give it to me.
Reason it should be holding the ball because he lost it and then he picked it back up again. So
he had the opportunity to get rid of it. Free kick going to Jackson against Witts for
that hurts.
Just pushing him in the back, and it's a silly free kick. Rivers Just floats off him, goes out towards Alex Neil-Bullen. He's good. He's on centre wing. He's got a player coming up at him. Goes in short. That's Spargo. Umpire says play on. He does. He goes around. He hooks it over towards Ben Brown. Also Fritsch. And Sam Collins says, give it to me. And I'll just punch it over the boundary line. We'll have a throw in. Good game of footy.
They've been well organised down back.
Yeah, they have.
Haven't they, the Suns? Because Benny Brown hasn't had a lot of room to move into. Everywhere he likes to lead, there's some bodies in the way.
Back in McDonald. There's Pickett. Good tackle. Coming through was Jordan. Oliver just wanted it. Now Pickett again. Good tackle there. It was against Powell. Didn't get rid of it correctly. There's James Jordan again. Now Sparrow. He has a shot at goal. Oh, this is a wonderful kick. Just misses to the left. And they've got their second minor on the board for the night. 10-2-62 the D's. Gold Coast 8-6-54. All that on the Shell V-Power scoreboard.
Well, it's been their accuracy that's kept them superior to Melbourne at the moment. When you look at it, 14 shots to 12 in favour of the Suns. They just can't get them enough through the eye diddle.
So they've got it across half back in the moment, the Suns. Alice, dangerous kick. Atkins, now up to the broadcast wing as Miller and Anderson came charging toward each other. There wasn't a lot of talking. Anderson inevitably took the mark, rides the boundary line with the kick. Perfect. Casbolt, arms extended, takes the mark out in front of his eyes. Just forward of centre wing. Sends it in toward the right forward pocket. Going up Lukosius. Without the footy, Ainsworth allowed Bowie to steal it away. Kick to centre wing and Keziah Pickett by himself against the boundary line.
Just makes good decisions, Bowie.
Such a smart player, only in his 9th game of footy. That decision from Pickett not great. Gets away with it. Jackson, handball forward. Hunt puts the afterburners on, lays it off inside 50, puts it out in front of Spargo, runs onto it, right forward pocket, tries to hook it back, intercepted, didn't go the required 15. Sean Lemons took the intercept mark. He kicks, puts it out in front of a teammate. That's going to be Jeremy Sharp. The ball rolls and tumbles, and it will be thrown back in between wing and half forward for the Demons. They're 10-2-62. The Gold Coast Suns are 8-6-54. That's all on the Shell V-Power scoreboard.
Lemons, Belsis and Clemens. That kick.
Shocking kick there by Hunt. Missed Spargo by 20 metres. He's thrown back in now. Jackson, who's been the dangerous one in the ruck, gets it out to Sparrow. Good handball to Langdon. Been very, very quiet tonight. Langdon gets it onto his boot. Over the top. Petrarca is waiting for it from behind. Good work there. Really well done by Fiorini. Kicked the last goal. Up they flew. Took Miller at ground level. Wonderful. He's in the centre of the ground. He goes up towards half forward. Hunt here. Good one-on-one. It's a great contest. It's up against Ainsworth. Ball hits the ground. It was Sexton, in fact. And now Jordan for the D's will settle things down.
Blimey.
And May will do the right thing for the Demons, but Sexton may have been harshly done by there, Shane McGuinness.
Oh, interfered with, taking the ground without the football.
So an opportunity goes astray for the Gold Coast and Melbourne through Jake Bowie. Really doesn't have an option at the moment, trying to direct some traffic, the young man. A mature head goes short, and now Sparrow. Not a lot of drive here from the Demons at all. Brayshaw back inside defensive 50. May against his old side. And now Smith has it on left half back, sends it to the wing over the back. Nice mark. Alex Davies, mark of the day contender for Foodworks. Shop local and save it. Your neighbourhood Foodworks store.
That's what happens when you overpossess the ball down back.
Anderson up the wing. Casbolt couldn't beat out Joel Smith on that occasion.
Chopping of the arms, I think.
Oh, was it? Against Smith. So that'll be a free kick to Levi Casbolt. Suns certainly looking the better in this third quarter. Yeah, still trail though by 8.
Needs to go slightly inboard here, not down there.
Does it? Goes straight into the right forward pocket. Jackson out in front. Lukosius from behind. Could have been chopping of the arms, wasn't. Holman tackled by Tomlinson. We'll see a ball up. Right forward pocket for the Gold Coast Suns. They're 54. Melbourne 62. 3AW Saturday night footy. All with thanks to Mac.
Should have been a free kick to the D's, but that's a dumb place to kick it, Levi. You've got to kick it into a hot spot. Make them go under a little bit of pressure.
Witt's got it down and May was able to crumb it. Good work there. Harms picks it up. He goes back towards Gawn. There's Alex Neil-Bullen. He's trying to keep the ball alive. He jumped on top of it. Rao didn't want to go to ground. Good work there by Anderson. Good work by Sparrow. then Jordan, then Jackson, and now Petrarca's going to have to get in there and get busy. Oh, he was strong. He gave it out to Brayshaw, who's got Bowie running. He found him. He just needs to settle things down because he's got Spargo out wide. He hits him. He's got nothing forward. He has to wait. Now he goes. He looks inboard. He goes short. Up they fly over the top. Max Gawn doing the roving. Hits the ground. Good numbers there by the Gold Coast Suns. One being Powell. Puts it under his left boot. Hunt comes up at the footy. So does Tomlinson. Gee, it's frenetic at the moment. Hunt's asked the question. So he puts it onto the left. Goes in towards Rowell. He had to back. There's McDonald. Rowell wrapped up. He's not trying to get rid of it. He's in trouble. He's in big trouble. The umpire says no.
You watch Matt Rowell go back with that ball, Brad.
Yeah.
Just
fearless.
Correct. Didn't give a stuff what was coming behind him.
And well done by the Melbourne play, because he could have put him in the Gold Coast Hospital.
And he didn't. So back now. Good work by Sparrow. Got it up towards Harms. They come back. Powell. There's Spargo. He dances. Now Harms. He snaps on the right. He's normally a good finisher. And no difference here. Beautiful kick. Wonderful finish. And the Demons have got their 11th. Good work, James Harms. The D's 11-2-68. Gold Coast 8-6-54. All that on the Shell V-Power scoreboard. Brad Hardy, talk us through that one.
Well, the pleasing thing for the D's, Ox, is the fact that they've had 9 individual goal scorers. That is fantastic. You've got 2 goals to Jackson and Brown, and then there's a host of players that are continuing to make this scoreboard tick over. They've been incredibly accurate tonight. 11 goals 2 to 8 goals 6. And the Gold Coast defending grimly. Just need to be a little bit more poised and balanced and less pressure on themselves coming out of the back half, because it is, they just lifted their rating a little bit, Melbourne, in this quarter to keep the ball in the sides for their 450.
Just started the final quarter at the Adelaide Oval. Hawthorn 14-4-88, leading Port Adelaide 7-10-52. So Sam Mitchell heading toward a second win as Hawthorn coach to remain undefeated. Conversely, Port Adelaide, preliminary finalists last year, set to go 0-2 after the opening 2 rounds. Ball back in the middle of Metricon Stadium. Luke Jackson, he just bumped off his opponents like a bumper car. Gave the handball to Viney. Back to Luke Jackson. Runs his full measure. Kicks on the left toward half forward. Kasai Pickett off a pack. Run down. Great tackle from Will Powell. Ball spills clear. Chance now for Atkins of the Gold Coast. Wrapped up, no Pryor. Ball spilled out. Chance for Jordan of Melbourne. Beaten to it by Fiorini. He gave it back to Atkins. Kicks up towards centre wing. Nice mark. Levi Casbolt. Still defensive side of centre. Moves it further afield. Wants Holman. Couldn't mark. Davies is there on the periphery. He swoops onto it. Still 75 from home. Kicks to a 1-on-2 contest. Sexton the one. Charging in sharp. Couldn't get boot to ball. It'll be considered a throw or incorrect disposal. And a free kick to Ed Langdon. Near enough, full back.
Goes short. Got Sparrow in the pocket, and he'll go even shorter. Goes out to Harms, who kicked the last goal. Melbourne look a little bit more urgent as Langdon runs on. First bit of run we've seen. He ran in front of Sharp. I think Sharp's been doing the job today, Brad.
Yeah, he's done a great job on him, and he's frustrated him. And as I say, they needed to put more work into some of the more bigger stars. Langdon's a good player, but he's not the superstar that Petrarca and Oliver are, and they're the ones that are dominating the game.
Well, Oliver just got it, and he gave it to Bowie, and Bowie to Rivers. So Rivers is welcome back today after missing last week. Christian Salem out.
Tuke Miller 27 knocks, 25 to Petrarca, 23 to Oliver.
Rivers up towards the 50. Max Gawn's there. Collins got rid of him. Powell, good at ground level. Gave it on. Oh, Miller fell over. There's Cozzy. Could have been too high. The umpire said, no, you ducked your head. Good work by McDonald. Gave it off to Viney. Gets it in. And Charles there. Oh, he dropped a sitter. There's Pickett. He picked it up. He slinged. Kicked the ball. Didn't quite make the distance. And taking it through. Almost. Did it though. Good work, Fiorini. And now he'll clear up towards Holman. Umpire says play on. Didn't have enough of it. Harms gets away. Now over to Sparrow, to Langdon. They're inside 50. Langdon wants to centre it up towards Big Max. Went up, didn't take it. Nice work there by Petrarca. Gee, it's a fumbly footy. Now Sparrow, wrapped up, and Gold Coast will get out.
Yeah, maybe. Holman tackled. Rivers. Holman still fighting for it. Between wing and half forward. Big pack of players. Throw a blanket over 10 and we'll toss it up.
It was like new Twister there, Shane. Arms and legs and dangly bits everywhere.
68 plays 54.
Stuart Jew doesn't want to play.
right half forward. Oliver hemmed against the boundary line. Handball to Viney. High kick. Back inside 50 off. Keziah Pickett flew into the air. Couldn't take the mark. Down to Swallow. Handball to Collins. Clearing kick. It's going to come back though because Langdon has taken the mark. Still 80 from home.
If he took that mark,
that was a car.
All this in Melbourne's attacking half of the ground. Langdon back inside 50. Gore nudged out of the contest. Spilled to Chol. Didn't spot up a teammate. Kicks it out in front of Jordan, who turns around, arched his back, got away from Atkins, sends it to full forward, and Ellis willing to help it through for a minor score. Melbourne 11-3-69, Gold Coast 8-6-54. That is all on the Shell V-Power scoreboard. 3AW Saturday night footy.
Brandon Ellis, the ex-Tiger, will do the kick in.
Cosy got right up there.
Got up there. He's got blood nose. The oxygen was very rare. Bowie, good at ground level from the kick in. He just turns and kind of gets a kick away. Goes about 20. It'll come back towards him. Well done. Puts it onto his left boot. Inside 50 now. McDonald attacks the footy. So does Sparrow. He's asked a question. Doesn't know what to do. Have a shot, young fella. Goes back at it. Max Gorn's there now. One-on-one and through from behind. Confident enough there with Sparrow. I think he might be tired. He's had a few possessions and a lot of tired bodies out there at the moment. The Demons lead by 16. 54 plays 70. We've got 7 minutes to go of the third term.
Equal game high lead, Brad. It's incredible that Melbourne hasn't been able to get it beyond that 16 points so far tonight.
Yeah, it's credit to the Suns. They're really hanging tough.
They're under the pump now, though, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. Last 10 minutes, all in Melbourne's attacking half of the ground.
This kid's good.
Alex Davies, just his third game of AFL footy from Broadbeach in Queensland, a Gold Coast Academy player, and now Casbolt, the former Blue, to right half forward. Ainsworth, still beyond his range. 45-degree angle, 60 from home.
Straight in on a 45-degree plane here. He's got to go.
He's probably put too much into the pocket.
Exactly.
Jackson flies easily to take the defensive mark.
Well, the pocket is a silly place to go because you've got the boundary line as your enemy, and you've got the point post as your enemy. Get it out at 30.
Put it in the hot spot.
Luke Jackson's had a wonderful game tonight. Clears defensive 50 here. Oliver, tackled by Noah Anderson. Ainsworth tries to go for the footy once more. Keziah Pickett rides a bump, then scoops up his own footy. Still across half back for Melbourne. Rivers receives the Pickett handball. Kicks on the right towards centre wing. Lurking at the back is Sean Lemons. He'll send it forward once more for the Suns. Flying up high, unable to take the mark. Sexton may have given away the free kick in turn. And it will go Melbourne's way. Demons. Oh no, it's going the other way. My apologies.
Wow.
It's going to be a free kick to Sam Collins. And even Sexton can't believe
they go in there again.
The Suns got the free. It goes into the pocket. Another big man. Max Gorn goes up for the mark. Couldn't take it. Landed heavily, Big Maxi. And it will be a boundary throw in right forward pocket for the Gold Coast Suns. They've got it where they want it, Brad, but they're not putting it down the corridor.
Correct, Shane. 4 times in this quarter they've gone deep into the pocket. Why?
It'll work that through. Max Gorn in the ruck against Witts. Oliver, ground level, could have been pushed in the back and was sloppy against Rowell. And Oliver has won a free kick deep in the fence. Starting to really up his work rate. He gets better as the game gets longer. We'll get his numbers off Brad in a moment. Up they go. Jackson took a ripper again. He's becoming a real force.
14-11 Ox for 25.
The mullet goes wide, finds Alex Neil-Bullen. Almost on centre wing. This game has just slowed down a little bit because it's been going at a pretty hot pace.
We'll have to, I think. And Melbourne are just trying to take a little bit of the heat out of it now.
Humid. They'll go in short to Bowie. He's been very good. He's asked to go now. Shocking handball. Not good. Not good at all. He could be given a free kick. It won't be. He drags it back in. You've got to get it out. Now Rowell. Good work there by Ainsworth. Out to Tuke Miller. He's got a player over the top and he's got to hit him, and it's Flanders. He missed him. And it went over the top. Smith comes up at the footy. There's Atkins. Could have been taken high. Now Smith just trying to hold on. Viney. Good tackle. Holman. Well done. Got it from Bowie. Melbourne with the numbers set up. And Tomlinson. He'll say, settle things down. And the number 20, who missed all of last year with the knee reconstruction, gives it off, and now Rivers has got it, or in fact it's Hunt.
Yeah, so Jaden Hunt in the back pocket. Just has a man further afield in short. Oliver. Still between wing and half-back. Melbourne 11,470. Gold Coast 8,654. Shell V-Power scoreboard. Oliver down the outer wing. Jackson leaps into the air. Collins tries to knock it forward. Rao came up with it. Incorrect disposal. Took on more than he could chew, the young man.
Trying to don't argue Harms, and he just grabbed him by the arm.
So Harms will take the free kick. Suns, you just feel just hanging on at the moment, Brad.
Yeah, it's not easy, Shane. They're just going to really hang tough for the next 3.5 minutes. Can't allow them to get any further in front.
Harms to the pocket, off the pack. Josiah Pickett around his body, facing the boundary line. That is the goal of the year so far. Josiah Pickett, with some Cozzy magic, gets his second of the night and a goal of the day with thanks to Sheen panel service. Well, that's as good as it gets for Josiah Pickett. 12,476 Melbourne. Gold Coast 8,654. I'll tell you what, it'll be tough for the Gold Coast now. They trail by 22 points.
Yeah, I think it was Caleb Graham. He was the third man up in that marking contest. Ox, he should have spiked it about 20 rows back. All he successfully did is miss it completely.
They're
hit his teammate on the head. It ricocheted into Cozzy. There it is. Who was out of it, and then he was in it, and then he finished it.
It's like a tennis player going up to serve and he misses it.
Yeah.
It's just a full, fresh area. But Cozzy Pickett, his work rate in the second half has been exceptional.
Yeah.
Got back in. They can ill afford a centre clearance here. So Gold Coast have got to knuckle down.
That's why you need one of those small forwards to be an X factor.
Yep.
And he's got it. There's no doubt about that.
And Spargo's okay too when he gets his opportunity. So they've got some weapons. Back in the middle, Max Gorn up against Jared Witts. Petrarca and Rao, Anderson and Alex Neil-Bullen. They'll go at it, and Viney is going to go with Miller. He gets it off the ground. Rao, though, he was able to smother it, and he drives it inside 50 up towards Casbolt. Didn't quite take the mark on this occasion. Comes over the top. Sexton's the best snapper in the game. Just misses to the right on this occasion.
Tried to kick the cover off it.
He could snap. He normally snaps well, and he didn't snap well enough on that occasion. The Gold Coast 8,755. The D's 12,476. All that on the Shell V-Power scoreboard.
Those misses really starting to catch up with them, Brad.
Oh, as I say, Shane, you know, when you're playing the best team in the competition, you've got to take your half chances, let alone your full ones, and that was a full-blown chance.
Footy just bobbles around. Exactly right. They all stood around. It was like ring-a-ring-a-rosy. And eventually, Harms comes up with it, sends it to the wing.
Don't start that piggy in the middle. It's nonsense.
Levens knocks it out of bounds. We'll see a boundary throw in. I've always been a keep things off man myself, Brad.
Really?
I know.
What was it when you were younger?
Brandy.
Okay.
With a cricket ball.
Grew
up in Sunbury. Pretty tough.
Harms, handball, Viney. Gave it off, stripped of it was Sparrow. Chance now for the Suns. Fiorini off a step. Again, those entries inside forward 50 for the Gold Coast. They're not spotting up teammates, they're just trying to hack it in there.
Just smacking of desperation, isn't it?
Good work there by Tomlinson. He goes out wide towards McDonald. Petrarca, he's been a little bit quiet this quarter. Gets busy there, gave it to Brayshaw, who went onto the left. He's not a bad left foot kick either, but well done there by Swallow, who set it up nicely in front of Viney. So he's marked on centre wing. Joel looking forward to coming on. Just a sting out of the game. It was pretty frenetic there for 15 minutes. Swallow up towards 50. Big Max goes up. Could have been taken down. Petrarca at ground level again to Harms, to Brayshaw. He wants to keep it. They need a bounce, and towards the boundary line it goes. And Petrarca just gives a little bit of chin music to the young man Caleb Graham. And Graham
just going to try and get a clean takeaway here, the Suns.
It's a minute 46 left, Brett. They've got a good chance here.
Yeah, if they can grab another one before three-quarter time's game on.
Melbourne will be thinking about it, no doubt. Good there by Witts. Got it down to Anderson. He found his boot. Really well done. They want to try and keep it in. They can't. And we'll have another throw in 70 metres around. Just a couple of stats. Tuke Miller's had 28, 26 to Oliver. Petrarca, 25 to Bowie. Jackson, the ruckman's had 21 and kicked a couple of goals. He's been fabulous. and doing a power of work late in the third term.
Lukosha's been quiet in this second half so far. Here, Marbior Chol standing down at full forward. Fiorini sends it inside forward 50. Smith dropped what he should have taken. Time to recover for Melbourne. Sends it back toward the logo. Ben Brown tries to crash the pack. Chance now for Petrarca. Handball to Oliver. To Harms. And now Gawn. The big man had a case of the fumbles. And at 205 centimetres, when the ball falls, you got a long way to go down. 209 centimetres, I should say.
He's 205 when you're 7.
And he wasn't going down to pick it up. Rolls out of bounds. Ball to be tossed in. 70 seconds remaining in the quarter. Just forward of centre for the Gold Coast. Atkins. Awful handball. Petrarca able to shark it out of the air. Now 1-2 back to Petrarca. I thought he cocked a whack in the eye. And how's the umpire going to see it?
If he didn't get a whack in the eye, it's holding the ball.
So Petrarca, we're going to see the replay here.
He got raked.
Certainly got a
accidental because he slipped.
Clip from Sam Flanders.
Yeah, it's got him in the eye, in his left eye. Yeah.
So the free kick has gone neither way. It's going to be thrown up and then knocked out of bounds. With 52 seconds remaining on the clock, Melbourne lead 76-55.
Still a chance inside a minute to go. Whoever gets the clean takeaway has the opportunity to get the final scoring addition for the quarter.
So the margin, 21 points, 50 seconds left. Wits, they let it over the top. Petrarca had a fresh airy. Good work there by Brayshaw. He gave it to Harms. Harms to Alex Neal-Bull, and it's really slippery now. Players are really struggling to hold not only the footy but their feet. Max Gawn, who is looking like he couldn't blow out a candle.
I think the Melbourne players are heavily disguising the fact they just want to fumble it over the line.
Yep, I think they're trying to do that with 38 seconds left. Up they go. Big Max just swats it out of the air. He gets about 20 and Petrarca was in there. Got it inside 50 now. Good work there by Collins. They want to keep the ball alive. Miller's going to be wrapped up in the tackle. Good tackle. Oh, and Anderson was happy to take it over, and so was Ballard. And Ballard said, let's get it out of here. With 22 seconds left on the clock. 21 points to the margin. We'll go over to Adelaide Oval in the three-quarter time break because there is a massive upset that will be happening, and David Koch is very sour as we speak. Thrown back in. Good work there by Wits. Now Oliver, who's got really busy. Good work there by Spargo. He might have been taken high, and he has. And he's 50 from home. He wants to get it inside. It's a shocking kick. He's had 3 or 4 bad ones.
Yeah.
He's kicking around corners. It's becoming a real issue. And we'll have a throw in 45 metres from the D's goal with 11 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, he just needed to drive that to the top of the square, didn't he? And
yep.
Got to be too cute by half.
So three-quarter time imminent. Suns not out of it. Still within range, but it's going to be a tough final quarter. As Wits wins it down. They can't concede here. Petrarca, handball to Harms, kicks around his body. Jackson in the goal square, couldn't mark, came down to Spargo. Quick little toe poker toward goal, goes through for a minor. And at three-quarter time, the margin is 22 points, 12-5, 77 Melbourne to the Gold Coast Suns, 8-7-55. For Melbourne, Jackson has 2, Keziah Pickett has 2, the rest are singles, while for the Gold Coast Suns, just the one multiple goal kicker, that being Levi Casbolt with 2. As Ox alluded to, a massive story unfolding over at the Adelaide Oval, where Hawthorn leads last year's preliminary finalist Port Adelaide by 59 points. 18 minutes gone in the final quarter. Hawthorn 18-6, 114 to Port Adelaide 7-13-55. But here at Metricon Stadium on the Gold Coast, it's the Demons by 22 points. Can the Suns mount a final quarter challenge? Stay with us for McDonald's 3AW is Saturday Night Footy.
If you're not filling up with Shell, you're missing out. Fill up with 30 litres or more of Shell fuels and you'll win a prize. Grab your receipt, enter your details at shell.com.au/winning and a prize is yours instantly. Remember, fill up with 30 litres or more of Shell fuels and you'll win a prize. Grab your receipt, enter your details at shell.com.au/winning and a prize is yours instantly. Only at Shell till March 30. Everyone wins. T's and C's apply.
Major building projects for the trade or a DIY home reno. Robot Building Supplies is the Australian-owned family-run business you can trust.
Robot's got it.
Robot's product range is vast and world-class. And when it comes to product knowledge,
Robot's got it.
Next day delivery in Metro Melbourne.
Robot's got it.
Over 70 years experience and reliability helping Melburnians. Robot Building Supplies. Notting Hill, Sunshine, Preston, Dramana, Pakenham, Coldstream and Darnham. robotbuildingsupplies.com.au.
ROBOT. Robot Building Supplies.
Back in 1929, life was difficult. You couldn't just swipe left or right. But one of the greatest products sure was invented. Agnew's Water Putty, the original hard finish filler. For patching, levelling and filling, Agnew's Water Putty is the true all-purpose putty. Mix with water, let it set, then saw, drill and simply sand. No shrinking, no cracking, unlimited shelf life. Agnew's Water Putty. Trusted by the trade since 1929. Available at Bunnings Warehouse and leading hardware and paint stores.
Lads, today proved what I've been saying all along. This game is better when everything works together. No one's going to pick up the slack for you. You've got to grab the balls, run it straight, kick your own goals and keep the missus happy.
Are we still talking about footy, Coach?
Every great player has a crack medical team behind them to get them performing at their best and feeling like a Brownlow medalist. For easy, safe and confidential healthcare from the comfort of home, visit pilot.com.au today. Pilot. Level up your health.
Aussies have always made stuff. And some of our best work happens in our own backyard.
Oh, nice.
Just like our growing defence industries. Talented Aussies and private businesses working together to supply our defence force. At the same time, creating thousands of local jobs. To get involved, search Defence Industries Careers. Our future, made in our own backyard. Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
At your local Foodworks store, you'll be able to shop a huge range at value prices with your neighbourhood grocer who loves food. When you shop at your local Foodworks, you can expect great deals. You'll also have an easy shop. And at half time, while you're watching the footy, run in and grab some extra snacks and nibbles to get you through the rest of the game. With nearly 400 stores, there's always one nearby. Shop local and save. Foodworks. That works.
3AW Footy Highlights.
The perfect centre clearance, marked to Joel. Now to fall forward over the back, Levi Casbolt. As now Levi Casbolt kicks the goal.
Out towards Bailey Fritsch. Oh, he was hit like a steam train from Swallow. Famous 31 for the Melbourne Footy Club. He pokes it towards goal and it is dead-eye beautiful.
Handball to Rao. Handball to Fiorini. Brings it back around his body on the left. Great goal. Unbelievable. Magnifico from Braden Fiorini.
There's Spargo. He dances. Now Harms. He snaps on the right. He's normally a good finisher. And no difference here.
High kick. Back inside 50 off. Keziah Pickett flew into the air. Couldn't take the mark.
He took that mark.
That was a car.
Harms to the pocket. Off the pack. Keziah Pickett around his body. Facing the boundary line. That is the goal of the year so far. It certainly was. 3AW Saturday Night Footy, all with thanks to McDonald's, and the Demons may just have enough of a lead to go on and win this game. 12-5, 77 to the Suns, 8-7, 55. So the big question is, how can the Suns stay in the match and potentially get back in front? The 1985 Brownlow medalist, Brad Hardy.
Well, they're hanging on by the fingernails, Shane, it's fair to say. They've been absolutely enormous. Their effort, it cannot be questioned. They just don't have the composure and the polish to finish it off when they go forward. Just the ball magnets, Petrarca, Oliver, Bowie's been terrific tonight for Melbourne. We've spoken about Luke Jackson, how good he has been as well. And you look on the other side of the coin, Tuke Miller just gives his all. Fiorini came to his own a little bit in that quarter. They need more from Anderson, Ellis, Rao, Atkins and Ainsworth in particular to try and at least match Melbourne through the midfield to give their forwards an opportunity. They're not that far out of it, but you just get the feeling, Ox, if Melbourne get the first one, it might just be the straw that breaks the camel's back.
Might be an issue. The other thing too with the Gold Coast Suns, their top end players are getting plenty of it, but they've got 11 players who've had under 10 touches.
Exactly, it's too much.
It's
done by too few.
Yeah, there's too many. There's too few carrying the weight, so they need to fix that up.
Well, the Gold Coast Suns might still be in it. I'll tell you what, Port Adelaide is no longer in it in its match against Hawthorn. The Hawks, 24 minutes into the final quarter, 18-6, 114 to Port Adelaide, 7-13. 55. Fair to say, Brad, the experts thought these two sides would be at opposite ends of the ladder come the end of the season, and now Hawthorn hasn't just beaten Port Adelaide, they have demolished the Power.
Carlton and Collingwood under new coaches, and Sam Mitchell and a new coach, they're playing a brilliant style of footy.
Fourth quarter brought to you by Robot Building Supplies. And away they go, and good tap down to Viney, up towards Gawn. It was from Jackson. There's Kasiah Pickett. He's busy again. He gets around one. There's Petrarca at 40. Couldn't quite get the kick away. Tuke Miller, though, picked his pocket and got it out. Brayshaw goes back with a bit of courage. Davies at ground level. Good work. He was picked up. He could have been pushed in the back. Umpire said that's okay. Jackson wrapped up in a good tackle. Now May came through. Good work, Kasiah Pickett, who marks in the centre of the ground from a really scrubby kick from Stephen May.
Yeah, Demons attacking the roundabout broadcast position in this final quarter. Golf course end of Metricon Stadium. The kick is wide, but sliding into the ball, Charlie Spargo.
Shane, I saw you throw your head back, and you were like me. There was two holding the ball decisions against the Melbourne Demons then, and they're allowed to play on.
Yeah, just some questionable decisions tonight. Collins claims the mark. I think it was the fact that...
That's nothing against the Ds. I'm just saying...
No. I'm 100% with you.
When you're 22 points down and you're trying to get the first goal, you need a couple of things to go your way.
Under the rules that we've been told, cracking down on Pryor and the like.
No, that rule hasn't been lived up to yet.
Yeah, I totally agree.
They haven't done that. But the other one they have, you can't argue. That one has certainly been...
But that one's a lot. That one's a lot easier to officiate as well. Lemons to the wing. Wanted Shoal, comes off his hands, and it will be tossed back in between wing and half forward for Melbourne. 12-5-77 the Demons. The Gold Coast Suns 8-7-55. Yet to see a change to that three-quarter time scoreboard. 3AW Saturday night footy, all with thanks to Macca's and the 40 Chicken McNuggets now available as Oliver steals it away, charges through the seas, and then puts it straight on the chest of defender Sam Collins for the Suns. He goes short to left half back, and Will Powell.
He goes long, up they go. Oh, Smith came in, took the arm though of Anderson.
There was a torpedo pass there from Oliver before. That was a beauty.
In fact, it was Lukosius. So Lukosius goes, and he goes up towards Miller and Joel. It could be a free kick in at Joel. Holding, and Tomlinson, he's had a bit of trouble.
Really impressed with this
Shane
kick.
McGuinness is almost in the cheer squad here for the Gold Coast Suns. What do you think of that one, Brad? Was it there?
Yeah, no, he put himself in the right spot, so I'm happy to pay that.
Okay.
What did you think, Ox?
I thought it was 50-50. 30 metres out, directly in front. He's got one this evening.
If you had a bit of Greek in you, you'd be breaking the plates.
Marbiel Joel. 22 points to lead to the Demons. He kicked one beautifully in the second quarter. Wearing the famous number 1 for the Gold Coast. Comes in and pulls it. And pulls it badly. And if you were playing golf, he's put it into the trees on the right.
He's still had a good night, though.
He has.
I've been impressed with it.
He's presented. So they're 8-8-56.
Rubber.
Melbourne, 12-5-77.
Just out of interest, who made number 1 for the Gold Coast Suns famous?
Did Stephen May wear one?
Stephen May did, didn't he?
I don't know if it's a famous number. Anyway, we'll roll with it. Powell, Miller, over the top. Sun streak forward again. Holman. To the lead of Ainsworth. He wasn't able to take the mark. Bowie stole it away, did well. A bit of composure now from Melbourne, and Viney at left half back. Tell you who's been really quiet since half time is Brandon Ellis.
Yeah, he worked hard early, but you're right, Shane. He just lost his way. And you can't afford to have your seasoned players like that do that.
No.
He said 19, but I reckon he had 15 up to half time.
Yeah, he did. He had a lot early.
Similar to Miller. Neil Bullen on centre wing. Tells his teammates he wants to go long. Does that in the end. 2-on-2 contest. Brown's there. Collins, the ball from behind. For the ball. Petrarca. This might seal the game. He puts it across the face. And a minor score. That first goal in this term, just so important either side. 12-6-78 Melbourne. Gold Coast 8-8-56. That is all on the Robot Building Supply scoreboard.
And they've got it out wide. Lukosius dropped a sitter, put himself under enormous pressure. May's going to go back. Casbolt took a good grab.
Get back.
He wanted to go. He said no. Just keep the party tricks to yourself, Levi. Get it over the top to Tuke, and he has. Now Tuke's just outside 50. He goes in short and finds Holman. Wonderful play. Oh, he wanted to play on. He wanted to go. The umpire said, no, come back around, young fella.
It's so important in any team. If you're moving the ball from back to forward, You need your big blokes to take those marks on the wing, Shane, because if they drop the mark, unfortunately the ball pretty much heads back the other way very quickly. But Casbolt did a good job then to hang on to that mark and then create the next opportunity going forward.
He's on the wrong side for a left footer. They desperately need this. Holman comes in. He's on the runway. Oh, he hasn't got it too well. Got to get it through.
Oi.
Oh, it's not a good possession. The ball lands. Bowie could have been taken without it, and he was. And it was a poor bit of effort there by the Gold Coast Suns, and as a result, Bowie, he'll go in short, finds Alex Neil-Bullen, and they'll get out of trouble.
I think Jackson did the Falcon there. Oxy put the hands up, got him right in the mush.
A couple of opportunities go begging early on for the Gold Coast Suns. Margin still 22. That's a nice mark, though, taken by Charlie Ballard. Nudged Gord out of the contest, sends it to the hotspot. Oh, Bowie, beautifully done.
He's unbelievable. Where's he come from?
Easily outmarked Ainsworth. Goes to May. And now, Keziah Pickett down the outer wing. Langdon runs with the flight of the ball, takes the mark, handball to Jaden Hunt, sends it inboard. Not a great kick. Collins tries to knock it back to Brandon Ellis. Slips out of his grasp, and we'll see a boundary throw in the left forward pocket for the Demons. Southern or Golf Course end of Metricon Stadium. You ask about Jake Bowie, just his 9th game tonight. Came out of the Sandringham Zebras, the under-18s. Just 19 years of age.
Petrarca, good at ground level. Got the footy. Oliver came at the footy as well. So did Pickett. Swallow, though. He was clean. He was good. He grabbed the footy.
Brett Bowie's boy, no?
Yeah. As now Casbolt sockers it off the ground, but just no one further afield for the Gold Coast Suns. And Jordan takes the mark, switches the play, almost the intercept. But sliding in to take the mark is Neil-Bullen. It was Caleb Graham trying to get the intercept, and now a chance for the Gold Coast Suns through Atkins, knocks it away from Jordan, and the result is a boundary throw-in. But time really starting to become a factor for the Gold Coast Suns. They're 8-8-56. Melbourne 12-6-78. That is all on the Robot Building Supplies scoreboard. We're almost midway through the final term, with thanks to Collins House.
If it's an arm wrestle, can't get the hand on the table, but the D's might do it here. Alex Neil-Bullen goes in short. He had Petrarca in the pocket, and he's eyes it up because he had 20 metres on Swallow and couldn't quite hit him. And we'll have a throw in 30 metres around.
It's the buzzword in the 2000s. It's called process. But look, the Suns just keep on keeping on. Keep doing what they've been doing. If they get selfish and go kick chasing, Melbourne will open them up in the last 10 minutes.
There's Tomlinson and Harms. Harms goes in short. Keziah Pickett! Oh, he spotted him up. He found him. And Keziah Pickett has marked 30 out directly in front. Good setup by the D's.
And there it is, because, as I said, they've been very good at the boundary stoppages, all of those sort of things. They were covering the exits, but they just went for the ball and not covered their man. Look at that. It was Harms that was able to weave his way through there, and because he was on his bike and into space.
Well, he's got two. He's kicked one in the second and one in the third. He comes in. He's got that little hoppity hop. Comes in the Aaron Davey number 36, and he might have squirted it. He has. He squirted it off to the right. He looked like he just took a fair bit of time on that one and missed to the right. So the margin is 23 points. 79 plays 56. All that on the Shell V-Power scoreboard.
Apologies too, Brad. I said young Jake Bowie from the Sandringham Zebras. They're, of course, the VFL affiliate. It is the Dragons in the under-18, so I do apologise.
Oh, rookie error.
Rookie error, very much so.
It's not hard to get your Dragons and your Zebras mixed up.
Carl's counting them. He's putting them on the blooper tape for the end of the year.
I spend enough time at Melbourne Zoo, you'd reckon I'd know the difference. Not that they have any Dragons at the zoo. There's now the ball
Komodo Dragons.
Back inside.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's true.
The Komodo Dragon pit.
I was thinking the fire-breathing dragon. But
only on Game of Thrones.
There's none of those. Miller switches it to right half back.
What time do you have to be back there tonight, the zoo?
Be nice, Brad. Ball down the outer wing. Here's Sharp. Sends it to right half forward. Feels like my second home with a 2-year-old at the moment. Here's Hunt. Oh, he's turned it over. Straight to Jared Witts. Witts in turn to Powell. Back inside forward 50. They're not going to get the mark. May there, spoiled from behind. Holman did well. Here's Bowie, the boy from the Sandringham Dragons. Clears defensive 50 underneath it though. David Swallow, it's going to come forward again for the Gold Coast.
They're not going away here, the Gold Coast Suns. 23 points down. They bring it back inside. Up they fly. Ball hits the ground. Lukosius off the ground and on the full, and he shakes his head in dismay.
Yeah, he's had a forgetful night, hasn't he?
Well, I reckon they're playing him wrong. I think he's still a half-back. He uses the ball so well.
Yeah, let him come off the... As I say, you can't play everybody there, but you need somebody who's got a little bit of run and carry and can kick the footy. And he's got all three.
Bowie goes long. He's had a ton of it. We'll get his numbers in a moment. Up they fly. Oliver could have been taken in the back. There's Langdon and Alex Neil-Bullen. Tuke Miller just came through and said, give it to me. He gave it to Sharp. Sharp puts it to the top of the square. Smith's going to fly. They've got to kill it. There's Davies wrapped up in a really good tackle by four of them. Now Tomlinson, he goes back. They go in short. They've got James Jordan there. He's marked. He's got a loose player out wide, and it's Tommy McDonald. He might play on. He says, no, I'll settle things down. And Tommy McDonald just looking forward. And he'll kick it long down the line.
22 kicks, 8 handballs for Bowie tonight for a total of 30.
McDonald to the wing. Comes down to Fiorini. He goes short. Brandon Ellis. Do they need to stop going long here, Brad? Because it's not working for them.
Well, yeah, as I say, they've got to do the things that they've been doing for most of the game. At the moment, it's pretty much hit and hope.
Bowie's good.
They keep going long toward full forward, and it keeps ricocheting back. It does again this time, but once more, Fiorini sends it high, sends it long, and Stephen May just sits underneath it. So that's 5 times in a row the Suns have made an inside 50 entry. They've gone long to full forward. It's been marked by Melbourne, and again, the Demons are able to repel. 56 plays 79. Melbourne leads by 23. Midway through the final quarter for Collins House, we have not seen a goal from either side in this final term. Has gone over the back, knocked it away from Anderson. Comes up to Powell, handball to Anderson from 50, goes for home and misses everything.
Max is having a terrible night.
Yeah, not going good.
He's got Vaseline on his hands.
Yeah, you've got to take the corsets off. He can't get down. But that's actually a good result for the Suns not scoring, because it doesn't hand the ball back to Melbourne. And now they've got a chance from a stoppage right up against the point post here.
Inside 50s in this final quarter, 10-7 in favour of the Suns.
Up they go, Wits. Good work there by Anderson. Beautifully done, and he's got his second. And the Gold Coast Suns get something out of nothing. Don't worry about kicking it in long. Just get the stoppages and they're half a chance.
Yeah.
So the margin's 17 points. There's still 10 minutes left of play. And Anderson has kicked his second goal for the evening. 62 plays 79. All that on the Robot Building Supplies scoreboard.
Well, they deserve that, and that's the good thing about it, Ox. As I say, if that had gone through from behind, all of a sudden Melbourne get the ball back, Shane. But because it goes out of bounds right up against, adjacent to the point post, you've got an opportunity, as Ox said, to make something out of nothing, and that's exactly what happened. Well played.
So there's one. They get back-to-back goals. It starts to get interesting. 79 plays 62. Still plenty of time remaining. We're only midway through the final term for Collins House. Just repeating also, in Adelaide, a 64-point win to Hawthorn. The Hawks starting the new season 2-0 under new coach Sam Mitchell. Conversely, Port Adelaide 0-2 to start the year under Ken Hinkley. Ball back in the middle. Big clearance coming up here. Gorn wins the tap. Oliver holds on to Fiorini. Fiorini trying to use some soccer skills. Can't quite get it to a teammate. Viney dives on top of it. Rowell on top of him. Umpire says I'll come in and toss it up right on the edge of the centre square.
And on Footy Nightline, we're going to have Laurie Colliver, who's at the ground tonight, to give us a bit of a review for that. So Hawthorn fans, if you're tuned in, have a listen.
Here's a chance now for Neil Bullen. Little 1-2 Sparrow. Back to Neil Bullen. The quick reply, no. Misses offline. Melbourne by 18 points. 12-8-80. Gold Coast 9-8-62. The Demons still goalless in this final term for Robot Building Supplies.
Well, we said that the Gold Coast Suns have been inaccurate, but it's 8 points apiece now, so Melbourne have evened that up. Good work there by Lemons. He got it out long, out towards May. Didn't take the mark on this occasion. Ball hits the ground. Sparrow got the handball. Back to Oliver, who's got real busy after quarter time. Goes into Langdon, who's been well held. So Langdon's marked. He gives it on to Oliver, who doesn't stop running. He'll drive it inside 50. Shocking kick over the top. Ben Brown hiding in the pocket. Don't know what he was doing. He gave it to Fritsch. Fritsch gave it off. He gave it towards Viney. Now back towards McDonald. He gets around one. He snaps. He's right on the boundary line. It's going towards the goal line. Good work there by Atkins. And over it goes. Another behind. It's a good behind.
Handy
because
point.
it now makes it 81-62, the margin, 19 points, which in my terms is at least 4 kicks.
Yep, exactly. So it makes it harder for the Gold Coast Suns. They've only got 1 goal so far in this final quarter. In fact, the only goal of this final quarter is Brandon Ellis short to Tukbilla, up to the wing, ball punched away, and another boundary throw in.
In the next couple of minutes, they've got to start taking some calculated risks, the Suns. They've got to try and get the ball, keep it in the corridor, see if they can get it to the shortest possible A to B to give themselves a chance. If they go around the outside, Melbourne will continue to snuff the ball to the boundary line.
Demons by 19. Scholl could have gone up, did go up uncontested, could have grabbed it out of the ruck. Didn't, palmed it down. Petrarca comes up with it, handball, Harms, and now Sparrow has his kick smothered off the boot by Atkins, and will go once more with a boundary throw-in. So Hawthorn by 64 points over Port Adelaide. Collingwood earlier today by 42 over the Crows, and Brisbane by 22 over Essendon at Marvel Stadium. The final match of this Saturday night unfolding here at Metricon Stadium. Melbourne leading by 19. It's going to be a free kick.
He got chicken wing
to
too.
Melbourne.
Yeah, and front on effort from the player with the ball in the end. It's just not right. As I say, that's why people get frustrated.
So the D's win the free kick, and it goes from Viney, goes in towards Brayshaw. He marks 53 metres from home. So Brayshaw looks up. Certainly can't get the distance. McDonald offers a lead. So does Fritsch.
And he needs to put it in the hot spot now. Don't go to the pocket.
So he'll go in. Oh, he does too. It's a beautiful kick. Petrarca!
That's why.
He said, get out of the way, Cozzy. The big man with the number 5, the famous number 5, takes a ripper. And he'll go back and should slot his first goal of the evening.
Disposal number 38 coming up for Petrarca tonight. 21 now becomes 22 kicks and 16 handballs.
You reckon Patrick Cripps and he will be leading the Brownlow after 2 rounds?
I would think so.
I think Petrarca might have 8 votes. They might give him a 3 and a 2 for last week. He comes in, he's 45-degree angle, 45 metres out. Oh, shocking. Shocking. Almost out of bounds on the full, Bradley. Sneaks through for one behind. It's a very valuable point.
Yeah.
There's still 4 kicks. 12-10-82 to Gold Coast, 9-8-62.
So Brandon Ellis almost looking somewhat quizzically at the options he has of bringing it back into play from full back. Takes your advice, Brad. Goes straight down the corridor. Sam Collins tries to knock it further afield. Chance here for Lukosius. He's able to knock it on to Ainsworth, and now kicks inside forward 50. One-on-one contest. Sexton beat Tomlinson to the footy, but knocked it down the throat of Langdon. Langdon with a handball to Bowie, and now to Tomlinson. All inside defensive 50. Tomlinson's handball towards Sharp, and then knocked out of bounds by May for a boundary throw-in.
The runner should be getting out there. Now, the Gold Coast Suns are in the area. Well, we either get beat by 5 goals or we die trying and win the game. That's what they've got to do here now.
Got to hit and miss.
Yep.
Right where the 50-metre arc intersects the boundary. Boundary throw-in. 6:30 remaining in the match for Collins House. Jackson, the palm down. Fiorini wrestles for the footy with Rivers. Fiorini still going hard. Rivers falls in the back of Fiorini, and it's a free kick to the Gold Coast Suns.
The harder you try and the harder you work, the more lucky you become. And he got that one. It was luck, don't worry. But at least he was tracking the ball, hunting the footy, trying to push it forward, and in the end was able to just milk himself a free kick.
So kick to goal in the third quarter, Braden Fiorini. That one was magnifico, Brad.
What's this one going to be?
Big moment here for Braden Fiorini.
He misses this, Cudi Laporta.
What?
Cudi Laporta.
Hello.
Shut the door.
Comes in. 45-degree angle.
Got to kick it.
50 out. Absolutely he has to. Comes around on a bit of an arc, and he's pushed it off to the right. And that's a missed opportunity again for the Gold Coast Suns. 9-9-63 Gold Coast. Melbourne 12-10-82. That is all on the Robot Building Supplies scoreboard. 5.5 remaining in the match.
Stephen May goes in short. I did study Italian for 5 years. It's the only phrase I know. Out of everything I learned. And Avanti, which is welcome. Good work there by Brayshaw. Goes long up towards centre wing, towards McDonald. Last opportunity here for the Gold Coast Suns. Holman barges his way through. Didn't get it on that occasion. Now Bowie. Good work there by Viney. Gave it to Langdon. He just turned around and he looked for McDonald, and the boundary line was found by Swallow with a beautiful fist. We'll have a throw in with 5 minutes and 1 second left on the clock. The margin is 19 points.
What's the best Italian beer?
Peroni. Peroni.
That's what I know.
Yeah, Peroni's a good beer. He's thrown back in now. Good work there. Oh, there's Bowie again. He's been mighty down back. Gave it to Rivers. Slanted onto his boot up towards centre wing. Up goes McDonald. Oh, he nearly stole it off his opponent there in Caleb Graham. The Suns, they want to drive it up towards the 50 again. They fly. Casbolt's there. So is Ainsworth. Now McDonald. Tomlinson's there as well. Holman dives on top of it. Good work there by Viney. Wrapped up. Could have been in the back. And the umpire says no.
Maybe in the back.
It's in the back.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough.
Jack Viney, little warrior, has won himself a free kick. The free kicks are 18-17 in favour of the D's, which is pretty unusual. Shane McGuinness.
So final minutes tick down at Metricon Stadium. Chol went up for the mark. McDonald then thought he'd claimed it, but it was clear Chol had touched it. Spilled to Casbolt, little kick forward. Anderson knocks it on to Ainsworth. Now it's going to be a free kick
Viney
here.
I reckon Holman grabbed him by the head.
Yeah, Viney.
Oh, Holman copped a nasty bump. He's got blood pouring out of his left eye.
Yeah, I think he hit heads with Jack and then he hung on as a reflex, not through any malice.
Oh,
yeah,
big
that's
hit.
what he's done. Yeah.
So Melbourne just controlling the footy inside defensive 50 as Holman trudges off. Our medical update, all with thanks to Pilot. Men, level your health with Pilot. Head to pilot.com.au today, speak to a doctor online and get treatments delivered. Ball on centre wing as Lukosius tries to intercept a handball, runs out of tarmac, and the ball goes out of bounds.
That's a good one. That's about a 9 to 10 stitches, that one.
That would have hurt.
Oh, yeah.
He would have been seeing stars out of that.
The flap of the skin is
all right, that'll do. 12-10, 82 Melbourne. Gold Coast 9-9, 63.
I'll have a good corner, man.
I might have to sew his pupil back in too.
All right, apologies if you just finished dinner, a night out in Melbourne. People have gone back to the city, they're driving home, and you're giving them that. Ball to be tossed back in right on centre wing.
3 minutes 22 left on the clock. The D's will probably get home tonight, but the Gold Coast Suns have lost no fans. They've been brave. Tuke Miller wrapped up by big Luke Jackson. A wonderful tackle. Rowell, he's also tackled. Alex Neil-Bullen's been sieged upon. And the umpire says, please give it to me. Almost on the AFL logo in the centre of the ground. We'll have a ball up. It's a good slice there. Jackson got it down. Jordan. Now Brayshaw breaks one tackle. Gives it to Bowie, who hasn't made a mistake all night, and he still hasn't. And just to give you his numbers, he's had 34 from the back pocket.
Yeah, he's been terrific. Oh, I know how to do that. The big thing about Melbourne is they've been inaccurate the last quarter and a bit. They were 10 goals 2, they're now 12 goals 10, so they've scored 2-8 in the last stanza and a bit.
Thrown in, good work there by Anderson and Noah. Wrapped up there was Rowell. And big Maxi Gorm with the second tackle is 1 of 3 for the D's. There'll be 2.5 minutes left on the clock. Melbourne will slow things down and make sure that they waste a minute or two on the clock.
Yeah, they'll get their second win of the season, remain undefeated after 2 rounds. Scorn's kick almost intercepted by Ballard. Atkins can't quite get a clean pick-up. Jordan happy to go for the boundary line, and that's where it ends. But you're right, Ox. The Gold Coast haven't lost any friends tonight. They're taking on the reigning premier. They take on Greater Western Sydney next week at Giant Stadium. Carlton back here in a fortnight's time. That'll be a ripping contest.
They'll always be extremely dangerous on the Gold Coast. They're going to be a side for the future. Doesn't matter who they play up here, though. Probably be dangerous.
They still need to get wins early in the season.
Oh yeah,
and just build some confidence within this group, because in recent years, as you mentioned earlier, Brad, they've fallen off the cliff after round 5 or 6 and never been able to look back. If they can still be thereabouts at the halfway point.
Correct. But I think even the most optimistic Gold Coast Sun supporter are probably thinking, well, as long as we don't get blown off the park here tonight.
And they haven't. Margin 19 points. Took Miller. Fantastic again this evening. 17 possessions in the first quarter alone, but it's going to be turned over on the wing as May sends it back to half forward. Witts palmed it down, enjoyed the game of Fiorini. As now Rory Atkins recalled to the senior side this week, probably holds his spot for next week against the Giants. Alex Davies overruns the footy, goes back,
well done.
picks it up. Real smart footy. Goes to Ballard, little chip inside 50, and Lukosius takes the mark directly in front, 40 metres out. This would bring it back to 13 points, and tell you what, a 2-goal margin you'd have to say is quite respectable against the reigning Premier.
Yeah, no, they've been terrific. They've kept at it, and as I said, they haven't gone kick chasing, and they just needed to lead a little bit more positive earlier in the quarter to get the ball into dangerous areas forward of the centre.
Jack Lukosius, virtually directly in front. It's a nice kick. Really good kick to finish the night. They know they've been competitive tonight, the Suns, and the fact that they have been able to match it with the reigning Premier, that bodes well for the coming weeks. The Gold Coast Suns at 10-9-69, Melbourne at 12-10-82. That is all on the Robot Building Supply scoreboard with 69 seconds remaining on the clock.
Well, and I say, pointed to the future, if they can get a Ben King back fit and well next season, we know he's not going to be there this year, but just give them that target up forward.
You've got to wonder, though, too, what difference Isaac Rankin would have made up forward tonight.
He would have had an impact for sure. Yep.
I mean, he
that
gets
probably makes Bowie more accountable.
Yeah,
absolutely it would be. So back in the middle, we've still got a minute and 9. We've seen Richmond get beaten from here against the Gold Coast Suns many years ago with Carmichael Hunt kicking the winning score up in Cairns.
Well, I saw Melbourne kick 3 goals in 45 seconds in last year's grand final before three-quarter time.
Absolutely. So back in the middle, Petrarca though, he got it out and he just went for a bit of real estate. It's race on here with Keziah Pickett, and towards the boundary line he went, and the umpire said please throw it in. 58 left on the clock. The D's will get home. It's 13 points.
Goalless in this last quarter, Ox.
Yeah, a bit so. Well, Keziah Pickett could have kicked that goal, couldn't he? Put him 5 goals in front, and missed a sitter from directly in front. So Gawn up against Witts. He goes towards Miller, well sharked. He gets it long, up towards a bunch of players, Bowie being one, didn't have the footy. Brayshaw, really well done. He got it over to Oliver, who got it to Langdon, who got it to Petrarca, and the key players are moving it now. Petrarca goes over the top to Brayshaw, and Brayshaw said, let's just settle things down on centre wing. And with 36 seconds left on the clock, the D's will more than likely run the clock out.
Absolutely. 28 seconds. The clock continues to count down. Ed Langdon has it on centre wing. The Demons will remain undefeated after the opening 2 rounds of the season, as the ball skews out of bounds, and we will see another boundary throw-in.
Well, it's just time for Melbourne to score. Can't see the Gold Coast taking it back down there. So at the moment, 13-point margin.
So final seconds play out. Witts over the top. Langdon. Ellis takes the intercept mark. Suns should run it out of defence. And the siren will go. Melbourne will remain undefeated to start the 2022 season. And after winning their last 7 of season 2021, they've now won 9 in a row. Melbourne 12-10-82 defeat the Suns 10-9-69.
It's a grand old flag, it's a high-flying flag, it's the emblem for me and for you. It's the emblem of the team we love, the team of the red and the blue. Every heart beats true for the red and the blue, and we sing a song to you. So all the painters people, keep your eye on the red and the blue.
The Demons led at every change by 4 at quarter time, 14 at the half. It was 22 at 3-quarter time. They'd lead by as much as 23 points. The final margin, 13. For the Demons, Luke Jackson finished the night with 2 goals. So too Keziah Pickett. They're only multiple goal kickers. The Demons goalless in the final quarter. For the Gold Coast Suns, the multiple goal kickers. Levi Casbolt with 2. So too Noah Anderson and Jack Lukosius. The Suns lose no friends. The Demons win their 2nd in a row. Final score at Metricon Stadium on the Gold Coast. Melbourne 12-10-82. Defeating the Gold Coast Suns 10-9-69 in the other match tonight. Hawthorn, big winners, 64 points to be exact, over Port Adelaide 19-6-120 to Port Adelaide 7-14-56. We'll be on air through until 11. Brad will then take over with Footy Nightline. But Bradley, just a quick word from you before we clear a commitment, hoping to get down into the Melbourne rooms before the top of the hour.
Yeah, no, well-deserved win to the D's. They started a little slowly. They were taken up to them by a plucky, young Gold Coast Suns side who had nothing to lose to come out tonight. And they played it pretty well. It was the accuracy of Melbourne that kept them well and truly in the game. As we pointed out, Ox, they were 10 goals 2 at one stage, 9 goals 1 for a fair bit of it. And they got a bit inaccurate on the way home. They kicked 2 goals 8 in that last stanza and a bit. So the Gold Coast Suns, at least they stuck to the values and what the coach wanted them to do. It could very easily fragment off and say, well, we're not going to win the game, so I'm going to go kick chasing and get my numbers up so I get a game next week. I was pretty impressed with the way they held together tonight. So full marks to the D's, led by Petrarca. 4 marks to the Gold Coast Suns. I thought it was a nice, consistent effort across the 4 quarters.
If you're a Melbourne supporter and you want to join us for a quick chat, the number is 133 693 133 693. Your thoughts on tonight's performance. Of course, there'll be plenty of time for calls after 11 o'clock with Brad on Footy Nightline. Tonight at Metricon Stadium, it was the Demons by 13 points, 12-10-82 to the Suns, 10-9-69 for Maccas. This is 3AW Saturday Night Footy.
Nights with Dennis Walter.
Okay, topics tonight. Signs that you're getting old. From Jackie, sign of age, you can't read the lettering on the back of packaging in the supermarket, so you pull out your smartphone, you take... This is very good.
8 till 12 weeknights.
You take out your smartphone, you take a photo, and then you zoom into it to read the text. Another advantage of modern technology.
Nights with Dennis Walter on 3AW 693.
We're taking the next step, and Australia's economic plan is helping. Infrastructure projects like Snowy Hydro 2.0 and the Inland Rail are creating jobs, and skilling the workforce will fill the jobs of the future. Today, the plan keeps taxes low and delivers affordable, reliable energy. And that's good for all Australians. For more about Australia's economic plan, visit economicplan.gov.au. Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
When my mates bring their plus ones, who bring their plus ones? We're gonna need more McNugs delivered.
McDelivery! Get dinner delivered with the 40 chicken McNugget pack and new spicy sticky barbecue sauce from Macca's. McDelivery available at select locations.
It's autumn racing and it's time to play at your local. For all races at Rosehill and Mornington this Saturday, place a tote win bet in venue or on course with the Tab app. And if you don't win but run first half of the field, get a bonus bet back up to $50. Yup, that's first half of the field at 2 tracks this Saturday, but only at your local. Tab. Long may we play.
Excludes WA residents. First online tote win bet only. T&Cs at website. Gamble responsibly. Call Gamblers Help 1-800-858-858.
Why, hello there. I'm Winston. Winston with a Y. They say love is blind, but I say love is blinds, doors, shutters and awnings. Speaking of love, protect your privacy with my huge range of made-to-measure blinds and crim-safe security doors. And if you need a place where the sun don't shine, Winston awnings are all Australian-made. See my full range at winston.com.au. That's Winston with a Y.
Do you regularly have flushing or redness with an acne-like breakout on your forehead, cheeks, nose and surrounding area or chin? Have you been diagnosed with rosacea? A research study is now underway for an investigational new treatment for rosacea, and you could be eligible for this 8-week study. Medication and checkups are included and travel costs will be reimbursed. So, if you're interested in participating, get more information by visiting the website newrosaceastudy.com. This study has been ethically approved.
On the way to the game, at half-time, or after the siren, a Macca's Run has you covered. Fuel up on Big Macs, Quarter Pounders, Nuggets and more at a Macca's restaurant. Like Specky's at the G, I'm loving it. Macca's, proud partner of 3AW Football.
Sometimes needing new tyres can catch us by surprise. That's why Tyre Power gives you the power of zip pay and zip money. You can get what you need now, get back on the road safely and pay for it later. Terms and conditions apply. So visit tyrepower.com.au or call 13 21 91.
Did you know you can save on fuel at Shell Coles Express? Just spend $20 in store in one transaction and you'll save 10 cents per litre on Shell fuel instantly. To save on fuel, express yourself at Coles Express. Limits, exclusions and T's and C's apply.
3AW Saturday Night Footy. Let's go straight down into the Melbourne rooms. They're linking up, ready to sing the song. Melbourne winners tonight by 13 points over the Gold Coast Suns, 12-10, 82 to the Suns, 10-9, 69. Hoping to get down to the Melbourne rooms in just a matter of moments. They remain undefeated after 2 rounds, as do the Hawks. They at Adelaide Oval tonight, defeating Port Adelaide 19-6, 120 to the Power, 7-14, 56. Collingwood also undefeated after 2 rounds under new coach Craig McRae. They defeated Adelaide today by 42 points. And Brisbane also undefeated after 2 rounds. Last week defeating Port Adelaide. Today getting the better of Essendon at Marvel Stadium by 22 points. A full wrap of the round coming up after 11 o'clock. Brad, I'll let you...
Sean, I'll just forecast too that if you guys don't happen to get to Jack Viney, we'll try and certainly get him in off the top for the Melbourne supporters. We want to hear from him. And Laurie Colliver was our man on the spot in the Adelaide Oval where, wow, 64-point win to the Hawks. So, Hawk fans, join in.
Now, I know that you usually spend the 3 hours that we're on air preparing, so I do apologise. It's been nice having you on the broadcast tonight, but I'm going to let you do your votes and at least get 15 minutes of preparation in for footy night.
Well, apologies to Oliver. I thought he was very good, but he got a lot.
You're a hard taskmaster.
Well, he got a lot of ball between the feet.
How many did he have?
In the end, he had 34.
It seemed a cheap 34 for Oliver.
I don't know about cheap, but it was in.
There it is.
He was in between the 250-metre arcs, which is good, but he didn't have a lot of
He's a midfielder.
input. Yeah, I get that.
That's where he plays.
I've given one to Fiorini. I thought he was terrific for the Suns. 25 disposals.
He was bellissimo.
And a goal. Magnifico.
No, I'm going with bellissimo now.
Okay. Jackson was outstanding. 21 touches, 5 marks and 2 goals. I thought he was the man who swung the momentum back in Melbourne's favour, particularly in that second quarter. Wasn't a great night at the office for Max, so well done to Luke Jackson. Miller, 38, 17 in the first quarter, but he's just leading by example. He tackles, he harasses.
He's hard to catch.
He's got to probably get a chance where he's got to tighten up a little bit at times, but he will give it. Bowie was outstanding, 34 from the last line of defence. He was brilliant tonight, so well done to him. And Petrarca, not because he's Petrarca, but he had 40 disposals, 14 inside 50s. That is outstanding. And that's the difference between him and Oliver, because Oliver had about 3 and Christian had 14. So that's the difference between being best on ground and being the best half a dozen.
So after 2 rounds, again, I'm pretty sure Patrick Cripps and Christian Petrarca are leading the Brownlow count.
Yep, you're probably right on that.
6 apiece. Just quickly, Brad, Jake Bowie. He just continues to, defy almost a logic.
He hasn't played a losing game, has he?
Correct. That was just his 9th game of AFL footy tonight. He's the only teenager on Melbourne's list. And game number 9 tonight, hasn't played in a loss, and he's played in a grand final at a premiership.
So how did he get to Melbourne, Ox? Was he father-son at St Kilda or no?
No, because his old man, I reckon, only played 76 games or thereabouts.
Picked 21 in 2020.
But I know that in that draft, St Kilda are going to take them with the next pick.
Yeah, right.
So they only just missed him. So they wanted him, but they couldn't get him.
Makes all the difference.
So, okay, fair enough. Has his dad got ginger hair? Because his son has.
No, he didn't. No, his mum must be. I know you're very partial to the ginger hair.
I'm a ringer.
Brigade. So
I'm allowed to say that about myself. I don't want to offend myself.
No, but
I just did.
But he'll become one of your. He's one of your favourites.
Of course, so any ringer is a favourite of mine. Don't worry about that.
Clayton Oliver. I know they hang out together, so that's it's well deserved.
Brad, always great having you on Saturday night.
See you, lads.
Look forward to hearing you after 11 o'clock.
Brad,
will be with you with Footy Nightline. He'll also cross to Adelaide after a big story developed over there. Hawthorn defeating Port Adelaide tonight, 19-6-120 to Port Adelaide, 7-14-56. Oxa, as we try and get Jack Viney on, and we'll look ahead to tomorrow's games as well. Just as a grade of Melbourne, I know how much you love the footy club. Do you see Melbourne, what you've seen out of the first 2 rounds, that they're still as potent as they were last year?
Well, I don't think they've played that footy like they played in the third quarter and the fourth quarter of the grand final just yet. And you don't want them playing their best footy in the first 2 rounds. Last year they did the same. I remember speaking to Adam Uze after the grand final. He said, a lot of people won't remember our first 12 rounds. Like, we eked out games. We won them by 10 points and 20 points and 15 points and 30 points. So it wasn't like the grand final win that they had. That didn't happen every week. So they had to work their tail off to win games. So they'll be challenged. Everyone's going to come at them. So they're going to expect most games to be really fierce and really, they're going to have to work their way through. Their footy's okay. I think Jake Lever's a big exclusion so far.
And Christian Salem.
And Christian Salem tonight as well. So they're missing a couple. But at the same time, I think they've still got gears. Mm-hmm. And they haven't... they played the Western Bulldogs, which would have been a big build-up. Next week will be a great challenge. They got the Bombers. The Bombers are hungry for a victory. It'll be Friday night, so it's the main game. It'll be up to them to show if they're, where they're at, and I think they'll come out firing. And because tonight was difficult conditions-wise, and not a big crowd, and there's a couple. There might have been some psychological things that they could have used as an excuse.
We often talk about teams when they are struggling, they don't get the marquee slots, and I was going through my notes the last couple of days about the Gold Coast, and I realised I didn't call or broadcast a Gold Coast game last year, and I was looking at them tonight, and I really enjoyed their football. I really enjoyed what I saw from the Gold Coast tonight. Now, I know a lot of my colleagues and peers have said, we hate calling the Suns. If I see more of the Suns this year playing that brand of footy, it's going to be entertaining. It's going to be great to watch. And on the balance of probability, they play finals with that brand of football.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you there. I thought their footy tonight was really honest. What they did was they gave themselves a chance, except for the last quarter and a bit, where they became too predictable. They went down the line. They decided not to go from left to right. They didn't. They weren't able to. They weren't able to navigate their way through. They just started bombing it. And as soon as they started bombing it, Melbourne were happy because they just put the numbers back, and it was a real issue for them. So, I like the Gold Coast too. I think they've got some really, really good kids coming through. And when you see Tuke Miller and Rowell, they're just very good players. They're still playing Lukosius out of position. He's got to be off at the half-back, or he's got to be on the wing, because he's one player that'll hit a target going inside 50. He's too good by foot to be starving in the forward pocket.
Again, look, let's remember, Matt Rowell, it might be his third year of footy on paper, but he's hardly played footy in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
We know what a star he is, but he's hardly played footy in the last 2 years. There is still a hell of a lot of growth to go with him. Let's go down into the Melbourne rooms. 13-point winners tonight over the Gold Coast Suns. One of Melbourne's best tonight, racked up 23 possessions, a goal for himself to Jack Viney. Jack, welcome to 3AW Footy. Congrats on the win.
Thanks, boys. Thanks for having me on.
Jack David Schwartz, well done, mate. Looked like it was pretty difficult conditions out there, pretty slippery and pretty dewy.
Yeah, it was. We expected that coming up here. We knew it was going to be, slippery, wet. So, they play a terrific brand of football and suits the conditions well. So we knew we were in for a tough night.
You obviously in the middle of the ground. You're in there with Petrarca and Oliver. But you've also got two pretty handy ruckmen in Jackson and Gawn. Do you have a preference on who you like being in the ruck with?
You get me in trouble if I answer that. I think so. I might sit on the fence. They're both terrific ruckmen, and Max has obviously started the competition, and Dog is an up and coming, exciting player. So I love roving both of them.
Jack, did they catch you on the hop early? I think they kicked the first couple of goals of the match and jumped out to an early lead.
Yeah, they did. They got a good start on us. They're a young, enthusiastic team and playing really fast brand of football. So they scored quickly on us at the start. Really made us kind of, evaluate what we're doing and had to get back to our brand of football.
Little Bowie down back. He just seems he looks like he's 11. He's got the baby face, but he certainly knows what he's doing. He seemed to take over the the Christian Salem role today.
Yeah, no, Bowser played a terrific game today. He's still learning his craft, but the performance he dished up tonight, having only played a handful of games, is pretty impressive. Particularly relying on him a bit heavier now. We've lost a couple of our key backs, so he's forced to put a bit more of a mature head on him and step up when we need him, and he did terrific tonight.
What did the coach say after the win?
Oh, he was just happy. We highly rate Gold Coast. We think they're going to win a lot of games this year. So we thought it was a terrific win in tough, conditions. So we really felt like we had to grind it out the whole game. Like I said, it was a tough start, so we had to dig deep and just grind away for full 4 quarters. So he was pretty proud of the effort.
Jack, no doubt looking forward to Friday night footy next week against the Bombers. Promises to be a big game and an opportunity for the fans to get out en masse and see you guys live again.
Yeah, I can't wait to get back to the G. Another cracking game and hopefully continue the winning streak against the Bombers.
You're a ripper. Congratulations on the win tonight.
Mate.
Appreciate your time.
Thanks, guys.
Jack Viney joining us from the Melbourne Rooms. The Demons winners by 13 points tonight. I'm just looking, Ox. Melbourne lost in round 19 last season. So they lost to the Western Bulldogs in round 19. Jack Bowie came into the team in round 20.
So good.
Haven't lost since.
No, he's our good luck charm. He's our little like rabbit's foot. That's what he is.
He's an absolute ripper. Still amazing that he's only played 9 games of AFL footy. Hey, big day of 3AW footy coming up tomorrow from midday Sunday Sport with Mark Allen and Jimmy Bartell. Then complete coverage of Richmond and the Giants. I like the Giants tomorrow.
So do I. I think no Dusty is a huge out for them. But the Tigers are a proud club. We know what they're like. You count champions out and they seem to prove you wrong every time. So I wouldn't be surprised if it goes either way. But I think, just on probabilities, the Giants will get some.
Fremantle and St Kilda, North Melbourne and West Coast. The other games will keep you updated on those. Of course, the West Coast Eagles coming across with a COVID-ravaged side. Tell you what, that would be one hell of an upset if they got past North Melbourne. Ox, great work tonight.
Thank you, Shane.
We'll talk to you soon. Thank you for your company on this Saturday night. It's been fun. Melbourne winners by 13 points. Stand by, though, because after the 11 o'clock news, Brad Hardy with Footy Nightline. You can give him a call now, 133 693.